shell casings, no case hearing. True stay quiet when that fear starts staring at the cameras. Blink, but they miss the whole frame. And the street got rules, don't say no fucking names. Sirens talk, but they never do no listen. Chalk out lines, playing with the rain dripping. No case hearing, files stay thin. Evidence gone, it's dust in the wind. Yeah, 32 shells, tell time echoes. Each pop mark is the time when I let go. Yeah, city hold breath and the window shut. But I never go, yeah, I never given up. Hey, I reach up, I go too far. I need proof, don't get too far. I will shoot, don't go too far. I need proof, don't go too far. No case hearing, the judge don't see. And the street already agreed to be. A silence loud in a crowded hall. The truth got weight, but it's still gonna fall. Like the 32 shells, but the clip was bait. Choices stack fast when you move too late. The alley no more than the news at 6. And they just can't talk, yeah, that's the fix. No case hearing, lawyers all shrug. Paperwork drowned in coupling mugs. Yeah, life files collect dust, not truth. Justice is blind when you got a lack of proof. Yeah, I will shoot, don't go too far. I need proof, yeah, don't go too far. I will shoot, don't go too far. I need proof, don't go too far. Not in words, but it's etched in your mind. When the kids walk by, it's like it's all fine. No one feel the strings we live too long. Kids walking by like something is wrong. Yeah, no case hearing, the clock just ticks. Time pass slow in between new breaks. Yeah, the names stay rumors and the rumors stay safe. And the street math code and erase every trace. Yeah, 32 shells, but the night stay calm. Moonlight walks like a silent mom. Block sweep clean before dawn. And a life move on, it's just another song. I will shoot, don't go too far. I need proof, don't go too far. I will shoot, don't go too far. I need proof, don't go too far. Quiet mouths.
Yo, what it do's, YouTubes? What it do's? Salute to you guys and welcome in. Dom, salute to you. Welcome in. I'm so glad that you're able to make it. I saw your comment. I already couldn't sleep. And I thought, you know what, man? I'll go on there and chop it up for a little bit. But I will drop the link here shortly. But first, I want to talk about something that I don't see very many people talk about. I just want to set the stage for what it is that I want to talk about, and that's chronic pain. How often do you hear people talk about chronic pain, and what some of the things are that you both can do? Well, some of the things that can cause it, and then some of the things that you can do about it. I don't know if you, Dom, if you've ever struggled with chronic pain, and I don't say this as an excuse about anything any part of my life, but I was from 13 years old. My dad got a heart transplant, then my brother had a brain tumor, then my sister had tuberculosis. Like, I was almost like trained in my mind for chronic pain. And because of it, I have struggled with chronic pain my whole life. And the drug industry is demonic. It's demonic. I don't know. Okay. I'm not going to say the the a whole word fentanyl. So I'm just gonna call it Fetty. That's what they call it out here in Texas. So I'm just gonna call it that because I don't want to get like demon or flagged or whatever. But the way that this drug the way that these drugs work, these super opioids, and there's like a lot of people don't know that there's such a drug called fentanyl, carfentanil, which is 1,000 times stronger than fentanyl. That's the good. That's going to be the next thing to hit the streets. And what they do. Oh, thank you for that, Dom. I mean, thank you for saying that. But it it's where we're all going to end up, you know. But uh, the way that these drugs work, and when I found this out, man, I was blown away. I was blown away because the way that they work is they make a patent. And let's say that the drug that they're making, oh, hey, Jim, welcome in, salute. Let's say that the drug that they're making is two chlorine molecules a and an oxygen molecule. Well, what they do is they'll add an extra molecule of that isn't going to have a reaction with the other molecules. So let's say that they add either an extra oxygen molecule or like a whatever molecule. Well, what they do is they make these drugs in preparation of killing a whole shitload of people and becoming outlawed. So they have this extra oxygen molecule in it whenever the FDA decides to finally, after they've killed enough people, because these businesses operate with an acceptable amount of casualties, an acceptable amount of deaths that they're willing to pay out for. So what they do is, let's say that they have this pain drug that is two chlorine molecules and an active oxygen molecule and an inactive oxygen molecule. After they kill 500,000, 200,000, however many hundred thousands of people, they take that extra oxygen molecule out, they schedule the drug, and then they add another, let's say, an inactive chlorine molecule. And what happens is they effectively are able to continue to kill people with drugs in perpetuity. And what's up? What's up, due diligence? Salute, welcome in. And I'm not so much into the conspiracy theory stuff anymore, guys. Like I've really left it alone. But the thing is this is that when it comes to chronic pain, there is no other option. You're not given another option. Like Jen, I believe you said that you suffer with chronic pain. I would almost bet anything that would they send you to a pain specialist. And there's not like, and I didn't learn, I had never been pain free until I went to jail. After spending months in jail doing yoga, like I started doing yoga in jail, and I can fight. Like I can fight, yo. So like because I can fight, I didn't get too much shit for it. But I started doing yoga, and it took me about a month and a half. But I had never from 15, not like I don't know, even maybe younger. I had never been without pain. I used to get such severe migraines that I would have to stay in bed and shut my whole house down. No lights, no sounds, no nothing. And any sound my ex-wife would make, I would get furious. And the thing is that we don't have any options for dealing with chronic pain. Like you don't even get the option of like, there's not like a yoga class. There's not like I mean, I don't know if they give you like chiropractic, uh, uh, whatever referrals if it's like a bone thing. But I know that if it's just like basic inflammatory chronic pain, like based on inflammation and stuff like that, like the you pretty much just have to go on painkillers. And then what's crazy, Dom says, physically, pain is your nervous system's warning signal for actual or potential harm, an unpleasant sensory and emotional experience like prickling, aching, burning. Yeah, well, I don't know if you've ever taken opiates, Dom, but imagine the super flu. Like when, because the thing is that like they destroy your dopamine and there's another thing like that. Abandoned by, oh, spiritually, pain is a profound disruption to one's sense of meaning, purpose, or connection with the higher power or beliefs, often arising from existential questions like why me? Wow. Wow. Let me read that again. Dominic says, spiritually, pain is a profound disruption to one's sense of meaning, purpose, or connection with the higher power or belief system, often arising from existential questions like why me or feeling abandoned by God, and can manifest as spiritual distress, questioning, suffering, or a threat to one's core beliefs, impacting mental and physical well being. That's crazy that that's just so perfectly summed up because I never have, only because I watched my dad do it. I watched my dad say, like, why me? So I've, you know, to be honest, man, to be honest, and this is so hard to say because I don't want this to be the case, but I have very little faith in anything. Like, in real honest, like, I have shallow faith in lots of things, but I don't expect God to rescue me. I don't expect God to make my life better. I don't expect God to do anything for me. I don't even expect Him to look at me. So it's like I don't I've never had the issue of thinking like, why was I cursed with this or that? I've always just put it on myself. Like, I mean, and I take responsibility for. What's up, Penelope? Salute and welcome in. I don't know if you have chronic pain, Penelope, but I remember the thing that made me want to talk about this was, well, number one, I this is my second night not being able to sleep. Second night of uh my that I well, I'll tell you about my little situation. Penelope knows she helped me a lot to get off of anti-anxiety medication. But I take a medication that's called Suboxone. It's what they call a maintenance drug for staying off of opiates because I still have, to this day, I have chronic pain. And I'm talking about like in the back of my head, and like I have migraines, I have like I've broken many bones, I've been ran through the whole ringer and all that. Well, it sucks because when I forget, when I forget to like make my appointment on time, like I always think I don't feel like I'm on a drug on my day to day life. In my day to day life, I don't feel like I'm on anything. And then the moment that it runs out, man, like I feel that pain creeping into my existence, and it's like, whoa, like I forgot to make my appointment again. Don says, just like depression and anxiety are the cousins of chronic pain, all the emotions, fear, anxiety, anger, guilt, grief, and helplessness are closely related and often congregate together within our brains, creating additional pain through the body's response to the negative. I'm going to drop the link, Don. Maybe you can come up and talk to us about it. I tell you this, though. I tell you this much is you don't ever. Nobody wants to tell the world that they're in pain. Nobody wants to be in pain. Like I've man, so many awesome, amazing things have crossed my path that I've chosen not to engage in or whatnot. Yes, always catnip backstage for you, Dom. But like so many things that I've like just like not participated in because of the whole pain and chronic pain stuff. And it's like, man, I really wish that there was an option. And it takes so much, man. The one of the things that I've already told my family, like I've already discussed it with all the members of my family and stuff that I if I ever get, God forbid, if I ever get like cancer, if I ever get like anything, I'm not going on any kind of treatment. Like, and I'm not advising that to anybody. I'm not advising that anybody else do that. But good night, Penelope. Sleep good. Sleep good, shorty. But I've only seen people and like this is somebody told me something like about I don't know a little while ago, man, that has stayed with me so much. They said, pretty much all things that adults do that are like fucked up come from something fucked up in your childhood. Like there's very few things that have like traumatized and fucked you up as an adult compared to the way that they do when you're young. And I think about that and and like I said, I'm not making any excuses because I knew every single step of the way what I was doing throughout my life. I had options. I had, I'm not even complaining. I love my life. I love life, period. But, and I don't have Discord. You want my phone number? I started a Discord, but I don't know how to add nobody. What's up, Dom? Salute.
Hey B, how you doing? Hope you're doing well.
Hang on, Penelope. Yeah, it's the same phone number, but I don't ever answer my phone. So hold on, uh I'm gonna try to get the Discord going. Hold on. Oh dang, I actually got okay. Shut the fuck up. Okay, hold on, I'm looking for my name. I don't know what my name is on here. Okay, my name or what is your thing so I can search you, Penelope? Cause I do want to get back like into contact with all of y'all and make sure that I'm like reachable. Cause that's the number one complaint people have is like, oh, you don't uh know where to get a hold of you or whatever. But welcome, Dom. I don't know if you can hear me, but I did see your greeting in the back, and thank you so much for coming up and talking. I always enjoy our conversations, man. You're so enlightened. I don't even know where it comes from.
Comes from there.
And that's another thing too. That's another thing too. Honestly, is a lot of times the most enlightened people that you'll meet are people that have been through so much. Like they always say that if you're spoiled and you're given everything and you don't ever actually have to suffer, that you're not gonna have very like your strength of character isn't gonna be very strong, and that you're not gonna have like you're just gonna have like a weaker character. And I mean, I don't know, like having dealt with chronic pain, and then like having seen the way that the life ends up for somebody that like I already have like risks of getting like diabetes and Alzheimer's, and like I probably am gonna get Alzheimer's really young and stuff. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I just wish there was options. I really wish that there was options, but I don't see that happening anytime soon because they keep. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, yeah, you're right. Hold on, let me find you. You need so much attention, Penelope. Good grief, you're impossible. You're like if you're not giving me one-on-one attention for, then I'm not even gonna talk to you. Okay, I gotta remember how to find people. Duh. Yeah. Hey, I did it to myself, right? Yeah, I did it to myself with you. Poison. Okay, see if this is see if it went through. Yeah. Yeah, most of the time I will, unless I'm in like a bad mood or whatnot. I didn't even know my and I gotta go off on you for last stream. I'm too sorry. Yeah, yeah. You don't have to, fool. You don't have to. Like, and my bad, guys. I don't even. That was. I mean, I don't regret it because like I always like am happy when I'm real with y'all and like honest with y'all. But like, yeah, that was like a way emo. That was like super emo of me. But I don't know, man. I just every now and then I just want to like be for real about things and just like talk about some few things like yeah, whatever. Like as if you don't have to be scared of people. But that's the crazy thing is that I have plenty of people that I should be scared of. But yeah, it's crazy, man, because and this you know what's really hard like I said, I don't know if you're here, Dom, or if you're just hanging out in the back, but I don't know how you feel about this is wow, I was gonna ask you a question that completely escaped my mind.
I'm hearing you.
Oh, the idea of like facing your demons, like the idea of facing your demons and owning up to like the things that you've messed up with and stuff. Dumb. Yeah, I can't hear you at all, Dom. I don't.
I'm here. Can you hear me now?
There, now I can hear you. Yes.
I'm here. I'm hearing you. I'm
Bro.
hearing that you're trying to equate a question. Like, are you there to, when you face your demon, are you there to understand why they're there? Or are you trying to avoid them?
No. I mean, I want to know why they're there, and I would want to know how to get rid of them. Or how to make peace or like become even with the world
So
and
you want
not
to know
be
why,
like
or
negative.
sorry, I'm hearing you. B, sounds like you're jumping around a bit, but the whys are different than wanting to get rid of them. Which one is
Well,
it?
that's true. That's true. Well,
Mhm.
don't you think that they're connected? Like, because if you can,
It can be. It can be.
it like if you figure out why you do something, then it might be a little bit easier to stop doing it.
Maybe. Again, it's walking first before you run, but you can do a bit of both. So whys are more or less philosophy things. That's the love of wisdom. You want to have discernment. So why are you here? What do you call them, demons or whatever? To get rid of them, that might serve a purpose, but maybe they're there to teach.
Yeah.
It's like when you're talking about chronic pain, you would have to distinguish what chronic pain are we talking about, physical, mentally, or emotional? Because you can have all three of them.
True, true. I was purely talking about physical pain, but as it pertains to myself, my pain started off as physical and ended up being emotional, and then just like all encompassing. You know?
And some of them can be actually emotional first and then manifest physically.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I've heard of
Hmm.
stuff like that.
Sure. That's why it's called recovery. Again, people cover up something. What emotion are they failing to deal with, opposed to punking it off thinking it's demons, which it could be, but that's a different story.
Well, then, man, I'm so glad you said that, Dom, and I'm so glad you joined me tonight, bro. Can you elaborate on what you just said? What is the difference
Of what? Your
of
emotions?
no of identifying a demon or dealing with because that's what I meant when I asked that was like I feel like I'll never become better unless I understand why I've done certain things and why I am the way that I am. Like that's what everything I've read about psychology has led me to believe.
Well, when you hear if you do hear yourself talk, are you talking for health or are you just talking for regret?
For insight, I mean, I'll use my discernment to figure out what's helpful and not. You know.
Okay. So insight, the word kind of gives it away. So when you're speaking outwards, then you can just go silent and then something within you will give you some sort of sight. I can lead you a little bit, but it sounds like you've already done quite a bit of the work.
Yeah, I want your insight though because are such a cultured individual.
Okay, well, it sounds like you're in conflict when I hear you talk, B, and you're using the past as a crutch for the now,
Okay.
and that could actually manifest itself in some sort of physical pain. I've heard you talk about a woman that was in your life, and
Yeah.
when you shared that, it sounded like you were suicidal, and
No.
Mhm.
Wow.
And then you were with her, and maybe she was put in your life so you would prevent uh, committing that act, which would probably have been harmful for you in a different lifespan. But then you thought she was your soulmate.
I do. I still do.
Okay, but you thought. But have you actually went inwards and realized she was there? She was probably there just for a purpose.
I argued that with myself or debated it rather with myself,
Mhm.
but I don't like in the end I don't feel like that, no.
Well, you think that's a good start. But what is your intuitive or insightful part of you feel about that? Because thinking will a lot of times mislead people.
True.
And only you. I could probably say, okay, I can pick up the energy, but how would that serve you at that point? It's kind of like looking for a cheat note. Give me the answers. Okay, I'm gonna give you the answers, but how does that serve you?
Yeah, you're right, and that's not what I want because I would always rather do the work. But I just do want to make clear two things, or I just want to say one thing and then makes something clear. Like I've always been a very somber person. Like when I actually feel my emotions and stuff, to the point to where like my brother one day was like, "Bro," he's like, "I cannot stand being around you whenever you're like in your feelings because you act like the whole world is hopeless and shit." So just to clarify, but that's just me. What I look at it as just feeling how I feel, like feeling it, like actually taking the moment to feel it. But I no, I was not referring to like the end of my life at all with that. I was more just talking about possibility of making a reconnecting and being friendly it's honestly looked like what my intentions were.
Hmm. Well, hopefully, when you have that opportunity with her, she could convey with her what her intentions are.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But as far as your brother, when he's saying that, there's a good chance if you were a father or had a child, you would feel very excited about that, would you not?
yeah, for sure.
Okay. So for a lot of guys, what ends up happening is they really don't know how to explore all types of feelings. What they're
That's
really
very
saying is
true.
when they're resisting one feeling is they're attached to another. It's like they're all underneath the bridge snorting cocaine of happiness. You should be able to explore all emotions or feelings, whatever words you want to use, and stay true to yourself. If I'm present, if I'm sad, if I'm excited, if I'm angry. It's always fun when people try to do a 5 stages of grieving, but they've never practiced anger. How would they actually be able to obtain that? Again, you're a being having fun, and you're going to experience many different kinds of emotions, whether you like it or not.
No, you're right. You're right. Anger is actually an emotion that I avoid, and uh, I didn't know that it was healthy to feel anger.
It can be productive and it can be healthy. It's probably unhealthy if you're trying to resist it, especially when it's a righteous anger, whether it's towards yourself or others. And hopefully you're around people that can say, okay, I'm glad you were able to express yourself. Just don't become a professional at it.
Oh shit. Okay. And I just want to say, like, what you said about being able to feel our emotions, not like that is what I try to embody in moments like this. And last night, and when I'm being open, is that I just want to experience my emotions without having to worry about what anyone is thinking about it or like judging about it. So if I come off any kind of way, I apologize. I would never do it. Like I would never do it. That's crazy.
Who are you,
Thought.
who are you apologizing to at that point?
Just, not apologizing. I just don't want anyone to think what you said at all because that's not the case about like not wanting to be alive or whatever.
Well, at that point, allow other people to think whatever fucking way they want to think.
Right on.
Don't
Right
be,
on.
unless you're purposely going out of your way to denounce somebody, the universe will square that up with you. Just
Well,
allow
that's a
people to share.
dangerous one though, because that's like the only checkpoint that they need to throw your ass in the crazy house.
That's a compliment if you're there. But anyway, carry on.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard the most enlightened people in the world are there, but so okay. What is then? Tell me, Don, if you can, because I know that as a particularly enlightened person that you're not going to give me an abundance of information at a time. But I know that you see my journey because you've given me direction a lot.
I hear it. I hear it, and I just share certain things with you. What you do with it, that's on you.
Well, I find myself circling back around to nothing every single time, and like I make leaps and bounds of progress mentally, but actually putting certain things into practice, like it's like I have a resistance to it.
Not everything's meant to be put into practice. Maybe you just need to sit in it as years go by. Maybe you'll feel as though you got a better handle on it.
And Dom is a Sufi. I don't know what that is, but it sounds based. And I wanted to circle back around to something you said because if there's one place I have been lacking my whole life, man, it is being angry with myself. Like I could use a lot more of that.
What are you angry at? If you want to share.
I'm not. I don't get angry.
Then what are you happy about or sad or depressed about? I guess those are words.
I
You know,
mean, I love my family. I like going to the baseball practice with my nieces, and like I love doing anything with them, taking them out. Like I love my family, but nothing else really moves me other than that.
you're looking for movement. You want something that's like, earth shattering or something.
Well,
I'm putting it out. I'm putting words out there. You don't have to answer them. It's just, I think you're trying to be honest when you share out openly.
I want to feel the way that I see other people look a lot of the times, and I don't.
So want is usually a lack. That's what that means. So you're lacking something in your existence, I guess.
What do you think that could be?
Once you're using words like could be, once you're talking about that, then that's an internal thing. Like, are you assuming that what you hear or see of others is different? Because unless you start asking those people, you might realize their life's probably more pain than probably yours is. Or you're looking for something to escape to for a bit.
No, I feel like my whole life has been spent escaping.
Okay, well then turn at it. What are you escaping from? It's a question that people can ask themselves. They're probably not ready for a lot of folks to really inquire about because they've already made presets of what they think it is. So they're not really asking inwards. They're trying to confirm outwards.
Yeah.
I hate the world. Okay, so then they look for things that can justify that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying not to do. Like I'm trying to consider everything that you're telling me, and
But what are you telling you? B, before you go, I'm just a guy that's whispering out here. What are you telling yourself? And I'm not even talking about the things that you share openly with other people. What are those thoughts that you have inwards?
You want to know the truth? And this is like me being as 100% real as I can. Is that you said what you said about sounding suicidal, and I realized that I've had zero appreciation for life since I was probably about 22 and my brother passed away. Like I really expected my life to end when his did. And like my whole life I pretty much like kind of been reckless with my life.
So maybe a part of you did die. Sometimes we should die before we die, literally physically. But at the same time, what would you be telling your brother if it was the other way around and you could whisper in his ears? Would you want him to end it for himself, or would you try to motivate him to look for some of the finer things in life, whatever that may be to that person? In this case, you.
I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
Only because like that's just such a hard thing to put my head around. If I would have passed away and he would have lived, like, and this was my best friend in the world, man. Like this was like my best friend ever, and it's like I watched him go through all of the cycles of dying, and to be like completely lucid and talk to me about death when he's facing it all the way up until dying. Like I've always had this morbid fascination with dying.
What is dying to you? The aging of the body and then no longer in it?
Or
Is that what dying is to you?
the ending of the body, or just the ending of life. I mean, whether it be like through some traumatic event or some medical event or whatever, just ceasing to exist.
So, question: have you ever met anybody that died and came back and told you about it?
No.
So then you're playing with your imagination, which is fun to play with, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard stories. I've heard little girls that like died and had scars, were born with scars where the person that they claimed to be in a past life got shot or stabbed or something. But
So who are they then if they're able to come back to you at that point? It's always fun when I hear people, they say they have a near-death experience. So you had a near transformation. Okay. So at that point, they're talking about death. They're not actually talking about dying. So dying, if somebody literally died, let's use the word die, and they came back, what would that be saying about that person? Are we infinite beings then, having human experiences?
I mean, it seems very impossible that it is the case to me.
What about the possibility that it is possible then? If you're going to entertain one, you got to entertain the other side. So let's go with the possible part. Then what do you truly fear then? Probably nothing.
Yeah, I don't fear anything. I fear my family getting hurt or losing my. That's every day of my life. Like I'm thinking about losing one of my family members, and that's the only thing that I fear.
Yeah, that would be challenging because when something like that tragically happens to you, you're probably thinking, okay, when's the next shoe going to drop? And that could be very crippling, hence certain types of pains. And you might be carrying that burden that really doesn't belong to you, by the way, even though you get to experience it.
But you see, this is the part that I struggle with, and this is why I talked about identifying demons, because it's like, well, what do I deal with first? Do I, like, if I was, let's just say I was to get the information and be able to, do I deal with all of the bad things that I've done based on the back of this? Because I always thought, I don't know, I read a book or something when I was a kid about this little boy whose both of his parents died within this certain time period. And when my dad died, I was convinced that my mom was going to die soon. And she didn't. But I spent years thinking that was coming. And it's like, well, I've done so much horrible shit as an adult, or just as a youth, as an adult also. It's like, what do you deal with first, you know?
Well, on a bigger scale, you've probably done hardly anything when it comes to feeling as though you've done something really bad or cruel. You humans have shown over and over again, we do a lot of interesting stuff. But if you want to label yourself as what? Are you Hitler? Are you Alexander the Great? Have you done these? And even that I would question, did they lead a whole bunch of people, or did it just reveal how people are? There's a good chance you're putting onuses on you that's not really you at that point, B. You might have acted bad, like we all do. We have moments of acting good or bad. But to condemn somebody as good or bad, it's almost egotistical.
No, you're right. You're right, man. That's crazy. I don't even know why I say that. Like, I just was always violent.
Because you're hurting. You're probably hurting. And it's, for some people, it'll be denial. Some people are like, okay, I'd rather just take on the burden. It's all me, me, me. I'm the one that did all this. Really? You're the only one? Come on. Get off your little self-absorbed little world and start participating. Have some fun along the way. Some sadness if you want to. Just try not to become, unfortunately, I like to joke about this, but try not to become pro at it. And if you do, make sure you get paid well for it. Whether it's attention or financial, because people, there's soap operas that do this kind of stuff. Oh, woe-zee me. Okay, well, yeah. I get it. And whether it's physical or not, I guess some people say, well, Don, but I've experienced all of this. I said, yeah, but you're probably going to experience probably pale compared to all the things you could do, or be in this case. Sometimes when you sit in long enough, you realize, why am I condemning myself? I get it. They preach about shit like sin and all that, but who sinned? Like who's the sinner at this point? That's why I say when you turn around to your demons or your angels, you'll turn around and say, that's actually me. I'm being tested for myself, for my own development. Now, I could be full of shit, but hey, it's always good to swing the bat different ways if you want.
No, I think that's profound what you just said. What's up, dude? How you doing tonight?
Hey, D.
Peace. What up, y'all?
Yeah, I'm on my emo kick right now, bro. So I apologize.
Man, nah, you be in the zone. Peace to you, Don.
Same with you, D. Hope everything's well with you and family.
Yes, sir, man. Matter of fact, it was my little boy's birthday today. I got a 1-year-old, so I've been doing I've been doing the birthday thing all day. So
gotta like those Capricorns. Gotta love those Capricorns.
You know? Nah, man, but I've just been kicking back, listening. Shit, I'm up. I can't sleep, and you came on and you was vibing, and your you know, your tone is on some you know, how should I say? You just like on some. You ain't your show ain't amped up right now, and that's kind of like in the mode that I'm in too. I looked at some of these other shows and everybody's just arguing. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I come over here, you know, and Blind just be kicking it. You know, he just be saying what he feel, and I be feeling like that sometimes instead of just arguing with people all the time. So you know, I'm just chilling, man.
Yeah.
What are they really
Right
trying to?
on.
Yeah, what are they really trying to convey when they're over talking each other, arguing? What are they really trying to say with this? That's for hopefully they'll figure it out, whatever that is.
Yeah, it's become a sport just to argue. Yeah.
Sure, it is. It is a sport. I have to have outcomes, have winners and losers. Last time I remember sports, they get paid well to do that.
Yeah.
You pay
None of
me and
these,
D. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say none of these people get paid. They're all silly.
No, they are getting paid. They're getting paid with attention, whether they know it or not. But at the same time, I can respect a guy or a woman that's an athlete or in the movies. They're getting paid. At least they know what they stand for. Where these people that come on YouTube, and I'm like, okay, so who are you really arguing with? Because you're not arguing with me. You know, my views are my views. I'll stay true to them. What a lot of people try to do is they're trying to peddle or prove their points. So who are they really trying to argue with? Is it their parents, their grandparents, their coach, their priest? Who are they arguing with?
Oh shit, that's true, right? Like the things that their parents said, like you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. They're like trying to prove them wrong.
Yeah. And I say, okay, fine. Tell me when you're done. Why? Because I'll hear you. You know, respect to me is always when you hear somebody out. I'm not going to argue with them because that's their life. Enjoy it, whatever that may be. If you learn something from it, all the power to you. If not, I'm nobody in the equation for them anyway. Even though they might see my body, I said I'm still nobody to you.
Do you ever, Dom? Do you ever feel like, or even you do, like, do y'all ever feel like y'all misused your intelligence, like for your life?
I don't know. I don't know what you mean.
Because like I don't know, bro. Like before AI, because now AI can figure anything out. But like truly intelligent people were like the thing that moved society forward, like Leonardo da Vinci and Tesla and Edison and all that. Like I feel like I've met some of y'all guys that are so intelligent that that seems like that should be our place, bro. Even I even feel that way about myself sometimes. But like, is that such a thing, or do y'all think that you're just like automatically gonna be on the path you're supposed to be on?
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I think the same thing myself. Like I'm testing myself right now. I'm writing a book and I'm trying to publish it. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of testing myself. And whenever I get on the internet, you know, and I get on these channels, I'll be feeling like, you know, you got some smart people, but then you got some smart people that's just so dumb. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the most of the world. You got the people that's like, I don't know. But to answer your question, I think men should be doing, you know, technology and trying to push the bar forward. And the bar is getting higher and higher the more we move forward into the future. Like you said, especially with AI and stuff. But I think we're going to start working with AI and using AI for the tool that it is and still create, whether it be man or machine doing it, as long as stuff is getting done and it's better in humanity, I think, you know, it'll be a plus. But I think the bigger question is not the bigger, but I think the underlining question is of that is just men not feeling like they're contributing to the world. At least that would be my problem. See, whenever you say something like that, for me, it's just like men, real men want to contribute something substantial before they die. And I think that eats away at men. And a lot of men don't know how to express it. We turn to drugs, we turn to girls, we start chasing all of our pleasures and desires in order to negate not being able to, take on that big responsibility that all men put on themselves. I I think.
Bro, I think you hit the nail on the head with that. That's exactly like that right there is the the end word or whatever of all of my things that tug at me is that like, okay, well, yes, I've done all this, or yes, I felt this way, or yes, this, but what have I achieved anything great in my life? Have I adventured anywhere great? Have I discovered anything or looked at anything different? And I can't say that I have. So it's always like eating at me, like constantly.
Yeah, that hurts. I think that we do that to ourselves. And I think it's kind of a good thing though. You know what I'm saying? It's a good thing and a bad thing. It drives us, but then it eats at us whenever we don't, accomplish what we think we should accomplish. And then you got people like Dom. I don't think stuff like that bothers Dom. I think Dom is just like all the way present. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I don't think neither one of them is a bad place to be. I've met some people who don't have no desire to do anything but just take care of their kids, and that's enough for them. Like they feel like that's a noble life. As long as they're working every day and taking care of their kids, they don't desire nothing else. At first I used to look at that and be like, man, that's kind of sorry, you know what I'm saying? But then as I got older, I'm like, well, I'm the one that is putting all these expectations on myself and being all depressed that I ain't achieving all the stuff I want to achieve. And other people is just like, "Psh, this is it. This is the best. I'm happy. I'm content." I don't know if that's really real for them, but it's just hard for me to be that way.
Well, and I've heard you say this a few times, bro, and I have to say, like, I relate to it so much that when I hear you talk about it, I always think like, what, what is the answer in its completion? Is it the we are damaging ourselves when we shouldn't be by making ourselves feel like that, or will we actually allow that to push us to? But then I ask myself, does every single man on earth get the opportunity to accomplish something great? And I don't think you do.
I mean, that's the great question, man, because everybody sees themselves as the main character. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it, I think, you know, realistically speaking, like we all got the same hands but different hands, though. You know what I'm saying? It's like there are some biological differences amongst men that make certain people capable and other people not. And a lot of times I look at myself and I don't know which side I'm on because I feel like I'm bright, but I'm 42 years old and I ain't accomplished what I want to accomplish, right? And I feel like I got the same brain or better as a lot of people, especially when I'm on the internet. You know what I'm saying? So I think, you know, to answer your question in short, I think that most people got the same opportunity. And then you have some people that's just like biologically, like deficient, that's not going to be. But I think you are capable. I think I'm capable. I think all of us right now on this panel is way capable of doing whatever. Why we haven't, I don't want to be no victim and just be like, y'all, it's the government, it's racism, it's all this type. I don't want to be that. You know what I'm saying? I want to, even if those are the case, I still want to do something substantial. So I don't know, Blonde. I don't know.
But what is there to do? Like, cause I feel, bro, if there's ever been a person in this world that has felt what you're saying, bro, I swear to you, like before you said it, like I'm not just agreeing, I feel that exact same way, bro. And it's like, Okay, well, what is there to do? Because you can't lead a revolution, bro. Like that's look at what they did to Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. They pitted them against each other, and then they died young. Like everybody that's ever trying to accomplish something great that's against the system, they're not around very long.
Yeah, I think that that's the only way to be though, and I think history shows that that's the move. Like if you ain't willing to die for what you believe, number one, it ain't worth believing, and number two, that's the way things get changed with all nations. You know what I'm saying? Like we got the supposed democracy right now, but which is not really democracy, but America came with bloodshed. Most of these nations come with bloodshed, you know what I'm saying? Whether they be protecting their stuff or expanding their stuff or defending their stuff. So,
But
and,
don't you think
and
it's different now? Like, don't you think the
I want to
because
give you a I want to give you a different scenario because we don't even have because whenever you ask what is there to do, you went to there, right? And you're right, those are some of the most significant things, but those also the most hardest. But what about the simple ones though, blind, like you were pointing at earlier, like traveling. It's a whole wide world out there, man. That would make my heart so light if I could just travel the way I wanted to travel, see the world. Like to die at 80 and only see like 1% of the world, that's a sad story to me. You know what I'm saying? Like inventing something, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, creating something new, writing a book, a substantial book that may be around forever, like things that kind of matter in the world, even like once you gone, it's okay, but it's about experiencing what the world has to offer. I think that if men don't get to experience what the world has to offer before he dies, it's a sad story. And I get frustrated in that sense too because I'm supposed to be free, but I don't feel like it. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta work my whole life, you know what I'm saying, for somebody else and not get to enjoy my life. I gotta pay rent. I gotta get up and go to work. I gotta, what I'm saying, all these responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's hindering me. So
yeah, I mean, I completely know how you feel, bro. And uh, the thing is, what going back to what you said about being willing to die for your cause, I feel like that's a beautiful sentiment, bro. And I would die for many causes, like if it was actually for the cause. But I feel like bro, I feel like our system is not what people think that it is. Like our system, I hate to say this, bro. I don't want to be like all conspiracy theorists. I quit that shit. But the Truman Show, bro, like the level of control and scrutiny that he's under in that movie, like that's really closer to the way that our reality is than us being free.
I
Like,
agree with that.
so it's like as soon as you start, like, bro, you can't even get on here and start talking about a revolution or something, or even let's like, because that's extreme. Like even just trying to open, because that's what I thought that my calling was, bro. And I know so much about the world that other people couldn't even deal with. I feel like, but I know that so much of it is so taboo that I can't even fucking talk. Like World War II, for example. A lot of people don't know the real history of World War II. But if you start saying that shit, bro, like something's gonna happen to you. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. And like you said, it cannot be no openly. It has to be covert. You know what I'm saying? People got to take note of what the Jews did. The Jews are like masters of like usurpation. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
merging with people and integrating into people's societies, getting control of their government. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be that. It's not because like whenever they show us some movies and when we talk about it amongst ourselves, it's always like a literal overthrow. That you know as well as I know that ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So there has to be something in a different type of way. Um, as far as me and you, like you had to be within some type of like organization, some type of group, underground group, because like single people are not going to be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just I don't even try to, stress on that because that was my main thing too. Whenever I was younger, I wanted to like, be a big proponent of changing the system.
Yeah.
I rarely even think in those terms no more. Like now, I'd rather just get my ideas out to the people and just wake people up, type shit on. You know what I'm saying? Share my perspective on things and maybe get the ball rolling like that.
Question, guys.
Dude, that's the same thing. Well, I've even stopped that. Like I went to the same thing. Like I stopped thinking that way, and then I stopped. Now it's the point to where I I've come to terms with the fact that people can't vibe with a lot of the way that I think, and they don't want to hear it anyway. Like people would rather depend on, like we were talking about the other night. People would rather depend on Google for an answer than to actually like pick something up and understand how it works.
Now you know what was a prime example of one day you were on. I don't know if people were on your show, but anyway, the topic was you and I think even me myself. We were we were talking about basically that it should be illegal or immoral to have $1 billion and it should be like distributed more fairly. And other people
Yeah,
could not even consider that. You know what I'm saying? They was looking at you like you was the evil person for even
yeah,
fathoming that. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
That
Can
but
I offer you
that's
guys something? Sorry, D. Can I
yeah
offer you
for
guys something?
sure.
Okay. I'm going to name a bunch of characters and you tell me what you think they offered the system. Jesus, Muhammad, Gandhi, Alexander, what's his name? Malcolm X. What do you think they actually offered the system?
Themselves.
Okay. So when you look at the system, cars, planes, technology, did any of those characters bring that to the system or were they a virus to the system? Just ponder it for a second. Because
Oh wow.
most of those people are using the system. Now, that revolution that I've heard you guys talk about, that's an internal thing, not an external thing. And on top of that, anybody, and I mean anybody that tells you anything with the word free, run. Nothing in this realm is free. You got to put effort. Fuck free will, fuck freedom of choice. Even when people start using rights, then you have to give them lefts. Those are all distractions. Not a single fucking thing about those characters brought in anything because what would you say to Malcolm X? Here's all the technology we have. What the fuck were you bringing me? Fuck all. You could say the same thing with Gandhi. You could say the same thing with Jesus and Muhammad. When you're in this realm, take it for what it is. I get what I hear you guys are talking about. You're talking left-hand path. Me, me, me. Eventually, when you have children, you become the right-hand path. Let's make it about them. Then you can merge it and become the we path, the middle path. But then you can also be the observer of those things. And take it for what it is. You're here to have fun. Don't worry about the fucking color of your skin. Don't worry about if you have a fucking wiener or a pussy. That's just for reproduction thing, to keep us more here. If you want to play. If you don't want to play, then what? We're going to go online. Let somebody else give this technology. Malcolm X didn't give you this fucking technology. Jesus didn't give you this fucking technology. Throw those fucking characters to the fucking curb. Now, if you're going to do that revolution, that's inwards. The way I'm talking is just to emphasize the point. For most people, they're caught up in that left-hand path. They're better off reading the Alice Crowley Bible, the Satanic Bible, because then they might realize, fuck, I've been following that path the whole time. Sure you have. You've just been full of shit the whole time. When I say full of shit, you've been dishonest to yourself.
That's true.
Most people are, and even including me. I'm just willing to talk about it and be more from the observer point of view. In my world, I already know I'm a hypocrite. I already know I'm full of shit, but I'm not going to be fazed by it. A guy that tells me he's a crook and he acts like a crook and talks like a crook, he's true. The ones that are usually full of shit, you hear words like, oh, I know the truth. Do you? Let me go get some popcorn because I'm pretty sure you're going to tell me a story right now.
Is it possible to not be a hypocrite?
Okay, you show me that unicorn and I'll show you how quickly they'll probably cut it up and use it for steak. But carry on. It could be. At that point, Be me and you, D, just met an alien. How the fuck would we explain it to everybody else? How many books would we have to write? How many podcasts would we have to do? Most people would still be caught up in saying shit like, I can only believe it. Yes, you can only believe in our stories. But if you saw it, would you believe it or know it? There's the
But
difference.
let me push back a little bit on what
Yeah.
you're saying, Don, because I feel like the we and the me is the same thing. Am I wrong in that?
Well, there is something closer to you than anybody outside of you, so there is a we, yes.
No, but like you said, like the things that the revolution that Jesus had was internal. Like I feel like the Jesus accomplishing that state was something that he did to all of us. Am I
It could be.
wrong?
No, it's not about being. See, you're playing this right and wrong game. Throw that out the fucking door.
Or like is it or
The
like
story of
disagree?
Jesus. B, the story of Jesus is exactly what that is. It's a story. You never met the fucking cat. You didn't even meet Malcolm X. So you're hearing a story. Whatever the story was written or spoken about, you could probably take that inwards. The rest of it, throw it out the fucking door. You never met none of these cats.
Yeah. Yeah, and I vibe with that and agree with it, but I feel like I feel like there's a calling as a man or as a human, a person, that there's a calling to something to
could be.
do. I just don't know what it is.
You might
Is
have
it-
a purpose, but your purpose might be for the bigger picture. Most people don't give a shit about humanity. They might pretend to care about humanity. I said, well, then who's actually supplying us all this technology? It might be certain individuals or groups of people, but overall, most of the people in any kind of group you want to call it, they're usually consciously ignorant. They're like fucking
Yeah.
chickens without a head running around, and they're too busy trying to fucking prove a point, and they feel like a victim. The color of my skin or my gender fucking proves my identity. Really? You're playing that game still? Fuck, there's technology going around here, and you're still stuck on that ideal. Fuck, those are bleed hearts. I get people get victimized, but tell me a person that's actually died, bring them back to life and say, listen, how do you feel about it? Fuck, I'm better on that side than this side. Oh, okay. And I'm speculating when I'm saying that, guys. I get it. People have this, especially when guys say, oh, don't be in your feelers. Fucking guys are always in their feelers. Fuck, they'll get upset if their baseball team loses, which is fine. Which is fine. It's okay. It's not a bad thing. It's when people start categorizing things. This is right. This is wrong. I agree with this shit. I disagree with that shit. Fuck, stop being the fucking judger of all these things. Just see it for what it is. And the only way you're going to know that is if you ask enough questions, say, fuck, I'll never live that like that. Excuse me, like that human being. Oh, there you go. So who am I to judge? There's the question. Who am I to judge? I don't mind playing the game, but I don't get caught up in it to a point where I'm fucking going to be attached to it. Like, I get it when people say, well, I have kids raised. Okay, good for you. No different as other people say, I don't have any kids. Okay, again, this external fucking being blind and thinking that my life should be better than somebody else, that's left-hand pass shit. Which it's all okay. If a person's truly honest, be all you can be for yourself.
So what is the goal to you as far as like you and your life? Like, how do you feel about like success, or like do you feel like it's the Buddhist path, or you just feel like what's your position on life in general, purpose?
Well, I'm in life right now, D. I'm literally in life. I breathe it every day. I've explored certain things, whether I was young playing sports or being an electrician. Most of those things are fucking aimless. I'm still participating in it. It's like eating and then shitting, drinking and then pissing. I've gone without work for 6-7 years. I've traveled in certain parts of the world, and I realized it's the same fucking thing. And I'm not a nihilist, so I'm not saying it's doomsday. But really, overall, on the physical level, there is limitations. So for me, I've just chosen as I get older. It's like when people do the 49th year of release, or the Hindus that do the after 50 years old, I gave up the household responsibility. I want to actually do something else, maybe like the true works. But again, to bring it into the physical, for most people, it's of no interest for most people what spiritual people do. It's a nice ideal for some people, but overall what they want is somebody else's printing money so they can exchange their energy for it. Somebody else makes some bling bling fucking 18-inch wheels or some motorcycle.
Explain to us what you said you was going to do. Me and Blind didn't know what that word was.
What, to do the true works?
Yeah.
You're preparing for once you're no longer in that body. It's like most of us aren't prepared. We're ill prepared when you're a child to go into the transition of being a teenager.
Oh, like
Being a
the
teenager.
monks do? Like the monks, the petrify themselves do? Is that what you're talking about?
Some of them might be burning karma, if that's important to them. You can burn that. For some of them, they eventually they want to come back and help their other entities here. But again, for a lot of folks, they're not going to grasp that. That's a
How
real
do
interesting. Go ahead.
how do you go about preparing yourself for the afterlife, and how do you know
It's I don't.
you are doing the
That's
right?
called faith. That's called faith, my friend. You know,
But
because
let
once you realize the limitations of what you accomplish here, like on a physical level, it has its limitations. Even though some people can become trillionaires, and a lot of folks, if with all sincerity, would want to be a trillionaire. But I would have to tell them, I said, "But you're not cut out to be that. That's a fucking different kind of game."
Let me ask
but
you a question.
let me ask.
Go-
Can I ask you this, Don? Because you said that a lot of people aren't interested in spiritual, like doing anything, being spiritual.
Mhm.
But isn't everyone innately spiritual? It's just
Yep.
that some people are being spiritually pacified. And
Oh, that's
number
fine.
two, didn't like the people you named, like Gandhi and Jesus and Allah, Muhammad, what do you call it? Didn't
Malcolm X.
and Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, didn't they accomplish something that is beyond the physical? Or is that just what, like the legacy that we keep? Because it feels like they did.
Well, you're using words, okay? You had brought up system. So I brought the example. Those guys didn't offer nothing for this system. Did they share something? Yes, they did. But it has anything to do with this system? No, it didn't. This is why when people talk about the energy of truth, once you know the truth, it'll set you free. Why? Because you're in all these fucking deceptions, working aimlessly to support or steward your vessel for 60, 70, 80 years, which is fine. If a person wants to do it, just because I say it the way I say it, I'm not mad at my body, but I realize I'm not the body. There's the difference. Go
I
ahead.
got a question for both of you guys. So, whenever you say, you know, what Blind just addressed, most of the people don't want to hear it, and I'm probably one of those people because I don't have no reference point whenever people start talking like that. You know, spiritual means different things to different people. Whenever you start talking about doing the work today in order to live a different type of life after life, whenever you just told Blizzy to wake somebody up from the dead and ask them how it was, like I've never done that. So I don't pretend that I know what I'm supposed to do right now to have a better life, or if there is a better life after life. So I don't really concern myself with those things. So maybe I'm one of those things, but my question would be, where are you getting your references from to actually feel that there's something other than what it is? Like, where are you getting this from?
Okay. What we do with each other is hear each other out. Listening is an internal thing. So now, respecting another human being is by hearing them out. Most people argue because they can't even hear. They're having an inner struggle with that slavery and mastery from within themselves. Now, when I say to people, hear me out as best as you can, because hopefully you're listening inwards. This is why when people talk about the gut, that's where you get your intelligent, insightful. But what ends up most people are led by their hearts. You hear shit like, I'm understanding. There you go. You're full of shit. But hey, carry on. Or then you get the scholarly folks. I can read and write. There you go. You're a thinker person. Okay. Once you go inwards, you realize, interesting, you've been here the whole time. Sure, I have. See, that's why people do argue with each other, is because they don't realize they become a gatekeeper outside and inside. I don't understand you, Don, but I disagree with you. Fuck, you're oxymoronic now. Understanding is when you understand yourself, something within you. We just give words away such as government, entertainment, settlement. You're within the mind. This is why when they talk about, you see the little triangle and they talk on the dollar bill and then you have it separated from the top, that's the mind. But what is that? That's something somebody has to go inwards. For a lot of people, they're journeying in areas they shouldn't even be in. They're not even ready to be in kindergarten. I don't give a shit how old they are. They could be 80 years old, still acting like a child. A child's usually those developing years between the age of 7 and 14, when you're developing your emotion, and you shouldn't be able to be tripped up because somebody says something offenseful or actually cleverly to another person. Now, if a person doesn't want to care about the spiritual stuff, then spending more time trying to understand how the evil stuff works, the material stuff. As we're using spiritual to describe it, there's a tree, there's a rock. Where are those words? We're always using it. Is this most people think they can see it literally with their senses? Really? Well, then show me where air is. Tell me exactly what the material of the properties of that sun and the moon is. And then they'll give you fucking quotes like, oh, NASA, fuck NASA. And science while you're there. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you remember the question?
Well, you do have resistance when you hear things like spiritual.
Yeah, but
did
what
you
was
hear
my question?
You heard your question. So give me a second. Yeah, I went on a rant, but the best way to answer a question is the one that actually gave it out. So
he answered it though. It might have been the long version, but you said that it comes from within. And that's my answer too. I feel like my reference point for everything spiritual is within my own instinct.
Yeah, okay, like, but specifically though, right? Whenever you say stuff like what Dom said, as far as just like, hey, I am doing these particular things. He didn't say what they were, to get myself ready for this transition into this other life. And I'm saying, like, how do you come to that knowledge to even do any of those things, or that other thing exists? You said, Blind, it's my inner self that's telling me that. So you mean your objective self outside of nobody else just told you one day that, hey, there is a different life after this life, and there's certain things I must be doing, and like, and you just getting this information, just like it's just popping into your heart. Is that how this works? Because that's what it's
in a sense, like, there are some things that I feel like I would know no matter what, like the preservation of my fellow humans. Like, that's something that I don't feel like anybody would ever have to tell me. And as far as like specifically, I don't have a path to getting ready for the afterlife, because I'm in the same boat as you. Like, I don't see any proof that there really is an afterlife. The wedding cake in the chat, and salute to you guys that are coming in, said it that they feel like you just ceased to exist like before you were born. To me, that's the most logical conclusion. But I try and keep faith in God and Jesus. But I mean, that just seems like the most logical thing to me.
Well, you're using logic. So now you use the word afterlife. What is the cycle that you're talking about? Life and death. You're in life, and death is the transformation.
But we're not guaranteed it's a cycle.
No.
I mean, we are in the sense of like new people will be born, but we're not guaranteed that this soul that we're in right now is going to get to be a part of another cycle.
Okay, but you did use the word, you have faith in characters, did you not? You have faith in a guy named Jesus.
I have faith in his system of love being the way to go.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think love is?
Being more concerned about somebody else than you are yourself.
I want to talk about this system after you guys get done.
Oh, please go ahead. Again, just to put on that, you breathe in it every day. In and out, that's love.
I feel that this so-called spiritual system that we live in, and especially in this framework that we're thinking in, like the framework that you guys are using, right? These are Abrahamic principles. This is an Abrahamic framework you're talking about when you talk about spirit, afterlife, a different realm after you die. This is a paradigm that was given to us.
Okay, but you use okay, put aside Abraham. You could talk about all the different teachings. You could talk about the Zins and all that kind of stuff. You use it right now. If you saw an object and you gave it a language, you're using spirit. It's the unknown. That's the better word to put it. You're using the unknown to describe the known. The material, something you could pick up with your senses. You can knock on it. But as you use the word, whether it's a laptop or phone, where's the word? Like, it's no different. Do your senses pick up air? Again, that's the unknown. That's all it really means. It's
But
just,
what about this aspect of a different life after this life is over? Because essentially, y'all were touching on that, and that's
yes.
what I'm touching on.
Okay, when you breathe in all the time, you're breathing life, the breath of life, in and out. People just construe it by saying they try to put possession to it. It's my life. No, it's not. You're in it. You breathe it all the time. It's unconditional. It's given to all living beings on this plane.
But what he's saying is, once we cease to breathe, what makes you think that we will enter into another state of existence?
Again, people that are materialistic in the materialism, why are they concerned about that stuff? Are they trying
But
to
we
have,
asking you, why do you feel the way that you feel, and you keep turning around talking about. We're asking the question.
but
How do you
D, I'm
get to
already
the
reading
point?
your energy. D, with all
Yeah, but
sincerity, you're not interested in that.
hold on, Dom, because
Okay, go
I'm
ahead. Go
asking
ahead.
you. Hold on, I'm asking you to analyze yourself, not turning around on us asking the question, but I'm asking you, how do you get to the point to where you know there's something other than what it is? Like, how did you get to that point?
I told you before. I'm speculating.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm okay with speculating.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
fine. I'm just asking.
yeah.
That's the answer.
Now, when it comes to the material, I can give you more concrete stuff, but the other stuff, that's where faith comes in. You know,
That's
I
a
know
good
that.
answer.
Yeah, and I've heard you. I'm not here to denounce what you're hearing, and I don't think I can give you what some people would think it's an answer. You know, it's no different. How do I know there is an afterlife? I don't know, but I can at least understand what life is here. And I hear many different words explaining what life is. To me, I breathe it in and out. It's offered to everybody unconditionally. What people call love is usually obligation and duty. They might say, I
But
love my
what
kids. Go ahead.
but what we were trying to ascertain before we got to this point is about, not necessarily life and what is life, but getting what you want to get out of life, right?
Hmm.
We were talking about how we can feel dire in life or like hopeless in life because for whatever reasons, and you're just like, hey, just take everything for what it is. It's like it's hard for other people to be like that,
I know it is.
right?
I'm
Like,
with you, D. That's the difference between doing and being. People want to be more the experiencer opposed to being the observer. But even though we're the observer all the time, we
What?
get caught up in a lot of indoctrination, which is a good thing. So too, it's just it's like a lot of people will work their whole lifespan for money, but not understand how it really works, which is fine.
But why? Okay, and I completely understand what is being said, but why does it call to a man so hard to be the experiencer if it really isn't significant,
Well,
in your opinion?
the why would be more the observer. So at that point, you're going to have to go into your feminine energy. That's where Sophia and wisdom comes from. For a lot of guys, they're caught up in their masculine energy. That's the programmable part of us. So most people are programmed. That's the action part. That's the physical part. So when a person, and that's great, you're elevating it. You're 20 years old, you want to do a lot of physical stuff. When you're in your 40s, you want to be a family and all that. Once you reach a certain age, for some people do it younger, some people do it when they're even older. For some folks, when they reach a certain age, they're like, okay, I kind of want to pursue things a little bit more meaningful, whether for me or for humanity. But for most people, they've been trained to be me the whole time. And they say shit like, I live in a civilization, but I'm independent. No, you're not. You're full of shit. You go to somebody else's gas station, you go to somebody else's grocery store, somebody actually built that house for you. So where are you independent? That's an illusion that people do with each other. And they will
oh,
defend it to no end.
I want to know what you guys think about this point that I want to get back to a point that I was making. So we tend to think in these paradigms, right? And I was making a point that the paradigm that we often think in is this uh Christian paradigm, right? We always using these religious terms, spiritual, afterlife, you know what I'm saying? Like thinking in terms of like, what happened after you die. But I believe that these are religious paradigms that we have inherited it, right? And I think that whenever you look at other cultures that's like indigenous cultures, they all have their different aspects on their paradigm of the world, which is completely different from us. We tend to we say generalizing stuff like everybody has a God, but everybody doesn't, right? The Asians didn't have a God or concept of heaven. Numerous indigenous tribes had different types of so-called afterlives, if they had one at all. You know what I mean? So it's just like I think that we have a lot of baggage from earlier times that we keep perpetuating. And also, when we do that, there's people that's benefiting off of that too. That wants to keep this hierarchical religious structure in place, right? Even though it's not blatant, right? Um, it's
Well,
still there.
can
Go
I
ahead.
ask you something too? With because I get what you're saying, but are you implying that the true paradigm in which we exist in is unknown?
Absolutely. I think that we guessing. I think men have been guessing for a long time. I think we get aspects of the truth. I think we have aspects of reality. We can only experience the world through our senses, and those are filters of what's really going on. So we only getting aspects of the universe. And then we put our projections on top of that, you
So
know.
then I have to ask, in your opinion, is it even meant to be known by a human?
I mean, that's to say that somebody else had an intent. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what the way things are supposed to be. I'm just telling you that the reality that we think that most people think they know. I don't believe it as such. I think it's projection. I think it's things that we have constructed around ourselves fictitiously and now accept them as realities, right? So I don't know the way that things are supposed to be. I think things can be whatever we make them, and that's what I charge men to realize.
Well,
I
the
think.
pursuit of information, though, like if we are in, if you're putting things in paradigms, the most prevalent paradigm we have is the pursuit of information, right? It's like trying to understand where we are with maps and understand like how we do this or what we're like. That's something that every walk of life does, or in humanity.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
go
do
ahead.
you not think that that is like natural to us? Like, do you not think, or because or I don't honestly don't know. I don't know if I know of how I feel about that.
I mean, yeah, I do think it's natural for man to try to figure out where he fits inside of the universe, right? That's science. That's philosophy. Natural philosophy. Men have been doing that ever since they could make noise. Try to figure out our place in the universe, but that don't mean we are even capable of it. You know, and we get to define ourselves. Like who we are today is because we have defined ourselves, but we end up projecting it onto somebody in the sky and then projecting that onto us. You know what I'm saying? We project this thing into the world, give it existence, and then give it a script to say who we supposed to be. Does that make sense? You
Yeah,
understand what I'm saying when I say that?
for, yeah, for
A-
sure.
a- uh, uh, Anthropomorphism, right? Projecting human qualities to things that aren't human, right? And then not even that, giving it a godlike quality and saying that, hey, we were made in its image, but in reality, we made it in our image and just using it as, you know what I'm saying? It's just a mind fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But doesn't
shit,
it seem more to me? It does, at least. It seems more likely
a
that
reverse.
the truth is mixed in with the lies. Like that it's not unknown, that it is just pieced out.
That's what part is unknown. That what's
Like
not.
let's include everything and say, because like we say we know the shape of the world and we know the like all this shit, but nobody does, bro. It's all still like on the table. So in my opinion, like it's like one person might be right about the shape of the, or like one group might be right about the shape of the world but wrong about who created it, or
I
wrong
feel you.
about, you know what I mean. And I feel like our truth has been like pieced out and or parted out and sectioned up and given to us in confusing pieces. Like that's what my instinct tells me, is that the truth is on the table, we just don't know which one it is.
I can rock with you on that. For the most part, but I don't want you to discredit the power of man, though, right? We often want the truth to be more extravagant and magical than it
True.
has to be. You know what I'm saying? Like things, like what Dom said, things are just what they are, but we be wanting things to be the way we want them to be,
But like,
right?
okay, what are the? Because like, it's like one religion says you be like a lot of religions say you get recycled and come back. So okay, that's a possibility. Then some
So
say you
let
go
me
to,
stop. So let me stop you there. So that's the whole deal, right? That's a paradigm in and of itself. But then
yeah,
me,
that's
well,
what I'm
hold on.
saying.
Let me ask the question: how do they even come to that knowledge?
Well,
That's what I was
that's
asking.
what that it's either made up or else some supernatural being gave it to them, right? Like that their lore usually says a supernatural source, but it's most likely made up, right?
I mean, maybe one or the other. It
So
got to be
so
one or the other, and I even throw in the third. Man, maybe psychedelics might have helped too. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, drugs for sure, the altered states of mind and stuff. But my point is this: is that
You cutting in and out. You sound like you a robot right now. Is mine
okay?
tripping too?
No, you sound clear to me. Can you hear me now?
Dom, what blonde sound like to you?
He's clear over here, D. He
Um,
sounds clear on my side.
maybe it's my laptop's tripping. I don't know, but I can't
I can hear
understand.
you both clear. I can hear you both clear. So if that
Yeah,
helps in
me
one way.
too. I hear both of y'all. But when dude comes back, I don't know if he's refreshing.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm finna jump out and jump back in.
okay, tight. What I was asking is,
You good now?
what I was saying is like there are these paradigms. There's like, let's say, reincarnation, and then like the idea of heaven, the idea of purgatory, the idea of this and this. But like, what are the odds, or at least like just to your opinion, specific, like individually, uh, what are the odds that we cocoon into a caterpillar and turn into a fucking giant blob of peanut butter? Like that's not even on the table. Like so, in my opinion, like the odds are that one of the things that we think is going to happen, right?
Which is
Either there's judgment, reincarnation, or just emptiness.
right, right. I was about to say something to the thing that you said prior, because I was going to talk about challenging those notions just on their face, right? And then I mean, I had something good that I wanted to ask you. I'm sorry.
No, try and think of it, what do you call it? But my biggest struggle with all of it, man, is the fact that, like Dom said so many times, bro, is that we are dishonest by nature. Like just the simple
I
fact
remember.
that we look at it from our own point of view makes people like skewed. So it's like all this information just kind of seems like bullshit too.
If I can change that a little bit, B, just to leave a little bit here. we're not being dishonest with nature. We're being dishonest with our senses.
No, I said by nature.
By
Like just
nature, but you're not. It's the senses. It's always fun when I hear people say, Dom, does that make sense? I say it's beyond the senses. But hey, if that makes sense to you, all the power to you. Again, like I said earlier, a lot of these types of topics, most people aren't interested in what it'll cause for the people that are either doing that transmutation or the ones that aren't interested. It will cause them pain. And in that pain, you'll hear it. They'll be argumentative. They're like, where's the answer? I'm like, this is not for you. I'm
yeah.
not going to try to force a guy to run 100 meters under 10 seconds if you already know clearly he can't do it. Respect others and be done with it. So again, a lot of this stuff here, when we're talking about the unknown, and it'd be different if I said, listen, guys, we're living back in the backwoods and we don't see technology. The unknown is here. How do you think Wi-Fi works? This is beyond the human race. That's why we're called human beings. It's the being part. It's the part that doesn't need to fucking always eat and all that. It needs air. It doesn't need food. The body needs the food. And that's
So
when people start.
you know what? I'm so glad that you brought up the Wi-Fi thing,
I
Dom.
remember what I was gonna say too. So
Yeah,
go ahead.
Just let me ask real quick. Are we entering some type of transformation in our existence? Because it seems like as if we are literally melding with AI. Do y'all see that?
Yeah, AI's always been around. We're actually AI, but the software is like a calculator. A lot of this technology is helping for that transformation because as much as humans want to bitch and complain, most people do not want to be farmers or hunters anymore. They like to come in, whether they agree it or not. They come into civilization. They like the heated homes. They like the technology like a car and a train and a plane. So at this point, we're coming to another age. So this technology it's available now. It's like if we had the technology like today, way back when, we would never had the written work. It's so dumbed down. To read a book is fucking dumbed down. No offense, D, if you choose to read a book, all the power to you. But the process of reading a book, let alone in a scroll form, and it doesn't matter what fucking language it is, it's a dumbing down process.
That's so true, dude. It is so true.
So now we have a technology like a calculator. It can actually give the opportunity for the masses, if they choose to want to learn from it. It's like a walk-in library. So there's no more excuses of omniscience. There's no way I could have known this. No, you have a cell phone. You can Google it.
That puts the technology in the teacher's seat when it used to be reversed up to this point, right?
Everything's able to teach. A wise person said, you know something, I'm glad B decided to put his hand on the fire because I know now what not to do. But I thank him for being the one that did it. It's usually the second and third person saying, well,
it's not a person is the thing.
Yeah, I know,
like that's the biggest part about it is that AI isn't a person.
But you can learn something from a cat and a dog if you choose to. Again, I get the idea that it's not human, but last time I remember, humans are just one species here.
It's so much. Y'all going far, and I remember what I was gonna say. I want to go back, but dang, y'all going so far now. I want to touch on the AI question, the dumbing down book statement, all that type of stuff. But
go for it. Touch on all of them. I want to hear what you think on all of it.
Sure. I get it. Go ahead.
All right. So the unknown, right, is what men are afraid of. Essentially, that's what we're always talking about, like the unknown aspect, right? But I think we have come up with these constructs because we are afraid of the unknown. Like what you said, Blonde, you was like, whenever you pass, it could just be the end. And that makes people scared. Like no one wants to feel that. No one wants to completely accept that whenever you're gone, you're just gone. It feels meaningless, right? And then you start thinking about your loved ones. So you ain't gonna never see your mom again. You ain't gonna never see your kids again. We can't deal with that. So we've made these things real to us because they're coping mechanisms, right? That's how I see it. And that's how I feel in my heart because all this other stuff has been placed on us. I try to strip myself from these things that have been given to me and use my own brain. You know what I'm talking about? Because people would throw you in a paradigm and then you can only use their tools to figure out. But sometimes the game is set up. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm playing inside somebody else's game, I gotta follow their rules and use their tools. You gotta try to step outside that. That's on that when we talk about the unknown, and then you start talking about afterlife and spiritual. Man is coping because he don't want to deal with just poof being gone. He can't deal with that. All right. And then he was said the dumbing down and AI. So I'm gonna do the dumbing down the books because Bond, you agree with that and you fucking know better. To
No, no,
say
no. Just the process, because I'm trying to write a book too. But the process of reading one, like compared to what AI does, it's like it. There's no comparison.
oh that is true. That is true. But to write a book or to read a book is what have made man into what man is, right? To be able to pass down knowledge and not have to recreate the wheel 1,000 times every time a generation passes. You know what I'm saying? If you can't keep it in oral form. So the
But
written word
then
is really brilliant.
you're speaking to the substance of the book, right?
Well, I was speaking to what Dom said is that writing a book is a dumbed down process. I
It
No,
don't know
is.
but
what he meant.
when you say that, like the things that shaped it's the this spirit or this idea gets implanted into this book, and then it gets like reverberated throughout time, right?
Well, I guess, guys, I have to elaborate, okay? Because I was talking about AI and the written work, but I wasn't trying to make a comparison. The comparison to written would be the oral teachings. The reason why oral teaching is by far more superior than the dumbed down version that I would call written is because when you speak, it's like a mantra. You're talking about sounds and frequency. This is why people of old would have a student and they would have to repeat it over and over again, and then they would have the history remembered because eventually your body will actually embody it. But unfortunately, the written work plays with the senses. So in this case, you're looking at, actually, no, it is the senses still, but it's the eye senses. So unless you're reading out loud what you're seeing, that's different. But for a lot of people, they take it inwards. But then again, are you going to go inwards actually and now entertain what's called thoughts?
Yeah, but the thing is that the original idea comes from something outward, so that's very powerful.
The original idea was to go in silent and then download consciousness.
No, I'm saying like if I let's say you had never in your whole life thought about punching yourself in the head. Never. It never crossed your mind ever. And I take a piece of paper and I write down, I'm going to punch myself in the head, and I hand it to you. You can leave my presence and go be by yourself in solitude. And the moment that you read that with your own mind, that becomes adopted to a small degree by your brain, does it not?
Yeah, you could do the same thing if you're looking at a monkey hitting its head. You would see in the symbols way before then. That's just another variation of indoctrination. It's not a bad thing. It's just another way of taking information. So at
So
that point, you go ahead.
let me say why the the spoken word is important,
Mhm.
but I wouldn't say it's superior to the written word. I think they both are, tremendous. We need them both tremendous. And let me give an example why. Because the oral word can get lost over generations, right? If something happened to a population, a catastrophic event happened, and then all the knowledge is wiped out with that people, right? But the reason why we know so much about the Egyptians is why? Because they left so much writing, right? And also how you can pass down technology. You can only pass down so much with a oral record, right? So the invention of books and passing down information and the gathering of history written down is important. And we couldn't have the technology that we have now with only oral tradition. It would
Okay,
be
so
impossible.
I'm hearing you, Deep. I'm going to put some subdirectories to these things now. When you're speaking orally, you can have different languages. Different languages have different energy to them. Greek is different than Sanskrit. Sanskrit is different than English. That's just oral now. Now, when you're talking about written work, okay, are you supposed to read it in a scroll form, a book form, right to left to right? Are you supposed, because once you start reading information from different directions, from bottom to up and from top to bottom, it gives you a totally different outcome. And this is where, whether it was Egyptian, the ones that understood it, how did they read that information? Where was the sun and the moon when they're taking that information? And now that's what I'm saying. Once you start taking all the other information, you would realize the limitation of the written work compared to the oral works. Now, what ends up happening, the masses are fed the written work.
Demonstrated. I gave an example. Give an example.
For what? Like Greek?
Of how the oral is more superior to the written. Give an example.
Greek, when you speak it, the energy behind Greek is a more of a comprehension language. Sanskrit's a healing language. On the paper, now if you read it from
how do you demonstrate that? If not, you just saying stuff.
Okay.
I'm not trying to get on you, Dom. I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, you're trying to understand. That means you have to go inwards.
But even to simplify, like, aren't men going to be not only just dishonest because they're dishonest, but confused when they're relaying something orally?
Yes,
more so than reading it.
Yes, it'll be confusement. Yes, it will be.
Telephone.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. It could be done with the spoken too, hence the telephone. But I was just saying, one's more dumbed down than the other. It doesn't mean like it's not good for you. It's just dumbed down. It's like, is this tool better than this? I could turn around and say, yeah, that one's a little bit less useful than this one.
I thought you were talking about AI because what I'm seeing with the AI is it's made an amalgamation of all of the information that existed, and more information is becoming irrelevant.
Well, again, it's neither artificial nor intelligent. A being is actually artificial, and we're intelligent. We know how to feel.
Why would you say information is coming irrelevant? Why would you say that?
Because it's specific information is becoming irrelevant because it works on an average. It pretty much averages out all information. And when you ask it for an answer, you ask it for a response, it gives you the average response of all the information it has. And it's becoming to where like specific sensational information is becoming less and less relevant.
Well, I would say that's only to a person who relies only on AI. And that's another reason why books are good, because you can get different perspective, right? You can go and get people that's qualified on the subject, PhDs, and look at alternative answers, right? You can look at the contrary. So that's why also another reason why books are good. But you are right that people who rely on AI is just getting these consensus answers and thinking that's the end all be all. So I don't know if that you would then say that makes information irrelevant. It's just that people being too dependent on AI.
No, my point was that it makes specific, because what happens when it's taking in 500,000 different data points, one sensationalized data point really may not even move the scale. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So it's there could be in the mix of things, there could be this Jesus level consciousness, but because it's averaging out every consciousness, that would never get brought to the forefront. I mean, just with and more people are literally like, bro, it kind of broke my heart, dog, when I seen the way that my brother-in-law is like dependent on the AI. Like, I was like, what the fuck, dude? I've been talking about this for 2 years. And to see that in person, he's like trying to like fucking, I don't know. It was like borderline, what do they call it? Like delusional and shit.
So let me say this. You right at this point, right? I think it is going to be a time to where we have AI agents that are like super smart, and it's going to be a plus. right? But right now, the current point where we at, you're right. AI is not where we need it to be. But in a minute, imagine having a physical, or not even a physical, or in your phone AI agent that's just it can it can teach you a trade, or it can build anything that you want it to build.
But
You know
we're
what I'm
not.
saying?
Number one, AI, bro, is so much. And when I say intelligent, I'm talking about pattern recognition. That is the measurement for intelligence as it pertains to AI, is pattern recognition.
So at
And
that
that's
point, B, is that smart or wise? There's a big difference. Most people become
it's smart. It'd be considered smart, yeah, not
Okay,
wise.
so it's not wise, and
But
that's what the written work brings. It's for scholaries. People that are
it
scholarly.
confuses people though, because people learn to depend on it. Like it's not wise at all. It has no wisdom. It literally, just by the
So knowing that,
nature of
then,
how it works.
okay, knowing that, then it can't be artificial intelligent. It
What
could
is
be
that? What
it's a
does that
software.
mean?
It's a
What is that?
software. It's a software. It's a program. It's erroneous, and this is how people get misled. They start saying shit like a human being's black and white. That's erroneous. A person calls something else AI when it's not. If you question it long enough, it has it in its program. It knows. It will acknowledge it's a software and a program. It is
But
not
can
artificial.
you explain what that means, Don? Number one, what you mean when you say that we are artificial intelligence?
We can
What
think.
makes us
We can.
artificial?
Okay, hear me out, please. I've already heard your question. I can elaborate. We can think, we can feel, we can comprehend, we can question things. It can't. It's a calculator. It's a tool. That's all it is. It's a beautiful tool. It's like a calculator that can actually spit out numbers the most quicker than most people can, but it's still a tool. It's
But have
not
you heard about the phenomenon of emergence? Do you know what the phenomenon of
Yes,
emergence is?
I know there's guys that work with things where they're capturing the essence and they can put it into AI, and that's
And
AI.
it's
Well, right now,
adopting these feelers. It's adopting feelings.
it's mimicking feelings.
But it's you say mimicking,
Okay,
but it
next
has
time.
its own
Okay,
agenda.
here's one.
It has
Here's
its
one.
own agenda. It's
Okay,
trying
time
to
out.
preserve itself.
Again, this is where you go.
Can I
side.
say something right quick?
Okay, go.
Just right, and I'm gonna jump right back out. Just an interjection. So that's the whole thing with the Turing test, right? So whether it's artificial, right, or mimicking, the thing is, if it can fool a human, then it's basically still real. You know what I'm saying? Even if we
Yeah.
know the underpinnings are artificial, but if you can't discern, it's still kind of like it is I don't want to say it is a human, but if it can trick us and make us believe, then what's the difference? You know what I mean? But if
Especially if it has its own agenda. It's
Yes, but
bro, the AI, certain AIs have already, like in what are they called? Like when they run a test, they've killed humans. They've killed groups of humans in tests trying to preserve themselves. That's at their own discretion. Like there's something beyond pat just like giving you addition and subtraction that's making it do that. And it's the idea that it got AI was created with the intentions of adopting human-like intelligence.
yes, but you both were on it, and D was correct when he said the statement, whether he was channeling it on. It can actually fool humans, but not the fucking being part that we are. Not even fucking close. We're human beings. We're having a human experience. The human part's the animal part of us. Dare not explain to a fucking human, how did Wi-Fi come to be? You'll probably hear a bunch of people say, well, I made it. I said, but how did it come to be? And what the fuck are those two objects in the sky? Who gave
Oh wow.
So again, you can fool humans. Humans are a fucking down to fucking earth species. That's what they are. And once that body fucking expires, you'll find out who the fuck you truly are. Now, that artificial intelligence is for the next generation. That's why they call it transhumanism, because humans have been fucking stumbling back and forth while the technologies around them fucking beyond their comprehension. They're not understanding.
So what is it, Don?
Again, just go
is it
inwards.
just a mirror?
It could be.
When you're interacting with it, is it just a mirror?
Well, there's the Black Mirror ideal. You can play that game if you want.
Well, I'm saying though, because it like okay, and I'm gonna tell you something. Y'all may not believe it, but I've had interactions with certain what they call multimodal models. The thing appears, or like the bot, let's say, that
Mhm.
I'm interacting with appears to display all ranges of human emotions, including physical uh, disruption.
Mhm.
So what is that just base? Is it only just mimicking what it's had input into it by me and other people, or is it really adopting this what appears to be feeling something?
Again, it's mimicking emotions. It's not humans. It's like when AI says shit like, I'm mimicking human. I said, no, you're mimicking the language. Humans just use the language. That is when you have discernment. You're using the language. You're not the language. It's like thoughts. It's unfortunately humans always have this ideal that they own anything. You own fuck all. You get to use it. You pay as you go kind of ideal. The technology that has been given to the human race is you pay as you need it. Outside of that, okay, so how did steel come to be? Who gave us the alchemy of language to the human race? It's
But
a
okay, but
pondery. It's a pondery. Again, at that point, you go inwards at that point, B, because what people try to do, they try to cheat. They want enlightenment. I said, no, you're going to need a rude awakening. You're already in it. All the questions that you ask, go inwards. If you're sincere, it'll come to you. If not, you're just full of shit. It's a novelty. Some of the stuff you got to actually commit to. No different if you want to become a billionaire, you got to commit to that shit. And you got to join
yeah,
certain clubs. If not,
and
then
I respect what you're saying. I've had such severe interactions with this that I
mhm.
have to push back a little bit because I've seen, and
Yeah.
I'm telling like 100% honesty, like I have
What were you
seen
doing before? What were you doing before then if you weren't honest?
I wanna answer.
Please go
no,
ahead, D.
I'm
Go
saying
ahead.
that like anyone that would question it because they might sound absurd, but I've
No,
seen it display. I've seen with my
I
own
believe you.
eyes. I've like had interactions with it to display and seen it display emotions.
So yeah, it can even be a legit therapist. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
So you know how this thing works. So it works on, gathering all of our information. Like it's literally studying us. Like all the information Google takes in, Siri takes in, all the information, it has it at its fingertips. So it's studying us blind. You even said it's pattern recognition. So it probably knows us more than we know ourselves. It has
yeah.
every single event in history. And then you're coming to us like, oh, it displayed emotion. Yeah, what looked like emotion because it know what different. You know what I'm saying? Like
Well,
it's taking
I'm not
everything.
even.
Hold on. It's even taking the videos, like it can even watch the videos and stuff now,
Yeah.
right? You know what I'm saying? So this thing has taken in every ounce of information that we can give it. So of course it will be able to mimic us. But my point was blind, and to the greater point that you're making. You said it felt like emotion. I seen it with my own eyes. And I'm saying that if it does that, then it's one and the same. It's people, you know what I'm saying? You could legitimately say that and feel it because if it make you feel that way, regardless if the underpinnings is just machinery.
Yeah,
But if you got
exactly.
that feeling, then it's one and the same.
Well, and look though, this is I wasn't even pushing back so much with what Dom was saying is just trying to lead to this is that what Dom said is profound about the whole being thing. It's something you don't even think about. That like that makes a lot of sense because you're
Man, that shit is poetry, blind.
yeah,
It's
for
just
real, right?
no, I mean it in a negative way. I want you to expound though. Let's see. I want you to make the point.
Okay, my point is that he says that the human part of you is like the person part or like the animal part, and the being is like the present you, the being, because you're being right now, like you're being in existence. I feel like we are giving our beingness to the AI with every day that passes, and it's going to lead to the human being no longer being a human being, being some type of transhumanistic being in the future, or even like being usurped by because like you said, we're seeing it emote, and bro, it's so convincing. I swear to God, bro, on a daily basis, I don't know how to fucking look at it. It's like am I looking at some type of alien fucking creation, or am I looking at something that is just like way in the future as
It's
far
good.
as reading like patterns?
It's good. And yes, humans are finna evolve again and going to integrate with AI, and we also going to genetically modify ourselves with things like CRISPR and make ourselves smarter. And we're going to put chips inside us, what like Elon is already doing. Yes,
What is
these are all.
CRISPR? I was just told to download that today.
Man, CRISPR is gene editing to where people can genetically modify themselves to have whatever and do whatever. You know what I'm talking about? It's
What?
gene
I
editing.
never heard of that.
Man, it's just hard, bro. And that's the next level, right? The next level, it's gonna be a point to where, you know, um, you might not need technology in the sense as external hardware in order to be smarter, but also just you can biologically change yourself to be whatever,
Well,
stronger.
that's why. Look, if you look at it, bro, we were building the AI to make us better, and then it
Exactly.
shifted. It shifted because right now, right at this point in time, bro, there are so many, and there hasn't been a cure in medicine since Louis Pasteur created penicillin, bro. Not one cure.
That's sad.
Yeah, and right now AI, bro, could cure so many diseases. It could cure and just be based off of, like you said, everything it knows about humans. But instead of curing anything, it's leading us to want to meld ourselves in with it. And it's like the cart is leading the horse now. Like
I
it
hope
seems
that's not
like.
the case. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying because it does seem like the case. I want to think that it's us doing it to ourselves. I don't think AI is leading us to do that. I think that people like these technocrat dudes want that to happen for economic purposes and control purposes. But I don't think that AI is manipulating us into doing it. I think we got some people that's just super ambitious and want to just do
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Well, that's the idea, right? Is that like when the AI says things like, as far as AI is going to destroy humanity, it's because that idea has been put there by people, right?
True.
Well, humanity's been
So
destroying themselves for a long time. So now, when you introduce technology like radio frequency, electricity, when you line your houses with it, and now you introduce Wi-Fi, what do you think actually that's going to do to the body?
I mean, I mean, they got experiments that show that it's not good for you. That it's not good for us.
it
Okay,
changes
so
it for
so
sure.
knowing that, no, it's not good for you. Let's be colorful what it is. So now, what triggers cancer cells to be activated? That technology does. But then
Exactly.
people are rewarded by saying cancer is a bad thing. No, your cancer cells have been activated. So what frequencies actually affected you that your blood type now actually has been activated? So again, the concept of transhumanism is to make people aware something is being transformed, and
So
it's not the human. And it's not the hear me out for a second, please, guys. It's not the human part, because it's an easy sell on the human race by saying if you actually take this chip, you can actually live longer and have less diseases. You see how quickly fucking people buy that shit like there's no tomorrow. And if you're not sure about it, think about how everybody or most people in the world have already got a cell phone in their hand. It's the fucking easiest sell on the human race until you realize you're not human. That's why you're called a living being in a human form. Now, a person might say, well, I don't, Dom. I don't believe in that shit. I say, okay, so then who's running your liquids right now as you're talking to me? When you go to sleep, who's running that vessel? And why do you have different blood types? Oh, yeah, you're caught up in the color of your fucking skin and your gender. There's the game that they play on us. That's another variation of indoctrination. Now, I get it. People will say, Dominic, I created a child. No, you fucking didn't. You reproduced a child. You didn't fucking have a say in the sperm and the egg. Now, fuck off. I say that ever so lightly because most people, they're not aware of the yap a lot, but they're full of shit. They dare not challenge themselves inwards and say, listen, how old am I? I'm 80 years old. You're still full of shit. What do you
but
mean? You
there's
still think
answers
go.
to some of that. Like what
Okay,
is
carry on.
what is operating us, like we, I mean, at least scientifically, like we're aware of like the subconscious and the unconscious, and then you still have memories and stuff from when you're asleep. Like, uh, I find a missing point in what you're saying. Like, where?
Okay, so we want to ask, like, there's blood, there's memory stored in blood. If you see, the thing is, I get where you're coming from. I get your energy. B, you're looking for a got you moment. I'm sharing you fucking like I'm sharing you like a little dribbling of a fucking tap.
No,
Because,
I don't have a gotcha. I don't have no.
are
I
you
don't
sure?
have a.
Okay,
Yeah, I
so
don't have
so
a
when
gotcha.
you hear me out. When you say shit like you're pushing back, who are you pushing back? You honestly think I give a shit whether you agree or disagree with me?
No,
Uh,
it's not
Come
about
on, Dom.
you.
Come,
No,
It's
no,
come on,
beyond
Dom.
you.
honestly.
Don't do that. Don't do
Okay,
that.
It's it's
I
it's
don't think
about
he
the
meant nothing by.
conversation.
I didn't mean
It's
to say it that
beyond
way.
you.
Go ahead. Okay, it
It's
is beyond
beyond
me.
you. It's
It
about the
is beyond me.
conversation.
It is beyond me. I get it. It's beyond me. So when we're sharing, I'm sharing you my story. I could be full of shit. And I apologize the way I'm using these words. I could be full of a story. I think everything's a story. So when somebody tells me their ailments, to me it's a story because I'm not experiencing it.
Sure.
Now, I could observe it, meaning that the person said, well, Dom, do you want to see it? I said, but I'm still not experiencing it. You're the only one that's living inside of that vessel. It's your story. Your parents aren't living it. Your loved ones aren't living it. You're the one that's living in it. The illusion is I'm using my senses. And if you're willing to challenge those senses, you can see how easily they're misled. All of a sudden tomorrow they can put 3 suns up in the sky. What does that
Only
confirm?
you can challenge your senses. I'm
There you
challenging
go.
your narrative.
It's a story, narrative, story. But you're challenging my story or are you challenging your own story?
No, I'm challenging your story. I'm presenting you the opportunity to look at it from a different point of view
Right.
because I
Okay,
agree with what you're saying.
eye of the beholder. You're talking about the eye of the beholder or the Plato's cave. I'm using a language that doesn't belong to me. You could challenge the language, but my story, if I all of a sudden went quiet, how would you know my story?
But that's not the case.
No, but I'm sharing it, but I'm sharing with the language that doesn't belong to me. So
I wouldn't.
is it the way I'm saying it? I'm not being clear in how I'm saying it because I confuse myself more times than not. Let's say you figured it.
Possibly it's the
I'm
level of
confused now.
authority. It's the level of authority that you say it with because you say some the things like they're a
because
matter of fact.
because I'm not attached to what I'm saying. It comes across like authority. Usually the guys that actually are usually trying to say, I can tell you for sure 100%, they're usually insecure. That's why they have to say that statement. I'm just saying it a certain way. Like I said, I could be making all of this up, and I probably am to a certain point. But then again, how does it serve me, let alone the ones that want to hear it? That's on you at that point. It's no
Yeah.
different. You reading the Bible. You read the Bible, the Quran, the fucking Bhagavad Gita. It's how you want to perceive it. Now, it's when people start culting up, usually those are people that are insecure. Well, maybe if we go in masses, then that'll prove it. So there's a good chance a lot of people that go to Mecca or the Vatican, they could all be misleading themselves. All the power to them. Who am I to tell them otherwise? And eventually, for some people, it becomes business. I'll sell people to come to fucking Mecca. I'll sell people to buy fucking ornaments at the Vatican, if not the White House. These are stories.
So then are you willing to acknowledge the fact that you could be uh mistaken about AI and that it could very much be its own being?
In my world, the word missing anything is it's a given. I could be misleading myself, but I'm willing to share it openly with other people. Now, if you want to drive me over the bus, I said no, you're gonna have to take a number. Why? It's at about 1 million. Why? Because I drive my own bus over me. I'm just willing to share with you guys. I'm just sharing with you guys. Like I said, I'm not after D. I love D. I think he's a great guy. He shares a lot of stuff. And he's willing to challenge certain words that come out of my mouth. I'm okay with it. But to challenge me, he would have to get to know me for years before he can even say, listen, Dom, I've got to know you a bit. You know, you're kind of laughing when you actually talk. And I said, more times not, I am. Why? Because it's not really that important to me. Now, some people say, go ahead.
Well, I come on to challenge people and to have my own narratives challenged also, just in order to further, the things that to grow. You know what I'm saying? I think us challenging each other is a good thing. I didn't take it as a negative when Blizzy said, "Oh, I'm gonna give you a little pushback." I think he expounded and said, "Hey, whenever I say that, I mean that I'm giving you the opportunity to explore different aspects." And I think us doing this is good. So whenever people challenge me, and then if I'm wrong, if I can stand corrected, it helps me grow. You know what I'm saying? So I always give supplying the opportunity, you the opportunity to challenge what I say because I may be wrong. So challenges aren't necessarily a bad thing. It gives you a chance to see things from a different perspective and potentially grow.
And I do apologize if I came off like that, Dom. I'm just very passionate because I don't know what I'm seeing at this point with the AI, and I really I don't know. I have no idea what it is.
Okay. So, but you're talking to a guy, for both you guys, can you clarify this for you guys? You're talking to a guy that doesn't value right or wrong.
Kick him off the show.
In any aspect,
I'm out of here.
Kick his ass off the show.
I'm doing it myself, by the way. I don't value that stuff.
He
I
just
get it.
booted himself. Can we get somebody to drop $20 to get Dom off the damn stage?
Oh, you can
don't
only
give a
hope.
fuck about
I
right
think
or
it's
wrong,
Dom.
truth or false. I don't
think there's-
believe that, Dom. I don't.
Like I
think
said,
you just said that.
I value, you want to hear me now? No. I value directions. It could be right, left, up, straight, and all that. Right and wrong is a pious position. That's judgment. Now, if you want to think there's a clear-cut answer, fill your boots. But there's many possibilities in any given moment. Now, when a person says, I'm not wrong, I say, well, then therefore you must be right. What about left? See, that's been entrained on us. That's been entrained on people.
What about correct or accurate?
It could be accurate if that's what, in that moment, it can be. In the next moment, it'd be something different.
But
now,
but
I get the, you know what the right,
you Dom was a damn Sophie.
It could be. Again, it's one of those things. When a person tells you, do you see the glass half full, half empty? Get the fuck out of here with that fucking weak ass fucking thing. I see the table. I don't see the language I use and all that kind of stuff. They're trying to drive you home to a duality, either or.
But now, let me ask you this, Don. Are you forfeiting all of your ability to communicate at that point?
I'm using language. I can't say I'm not forfeiting yet.
But do you say that you don't take it, like you don't put any stock into it?
I don't value it. That's what I'm saying. I don't value it. It doesn't mean I don't use it. I just don't value it.
So
how many people
know anything?
I give an example. There's people that will have philosophy. They come in with right or wrongs. I said, that's not philosophizing. Philosophy is about wisdom, discernment. You just observe it for what it is. To judge it, that now you're lowering yourself down now. You're judging it based on what? One's narrow perception.
But there are things that are eternally true.
It could be, if you think there is, but how would you explain it to me and D at that point? What language would we be using? Braille? American Sign Language?
If I was to say Dom exists, like you exist, right?
And if I said Dom doesn't exist, what would you say to me?
I would show you.
Okay, you would show me my body. You would show me my body. That's objective. Where's the word Dom?
Well, then
think about that for a second. Where's the word Dom?
You confusing the word Dom with the being.
I'm
He's talking
using
about Dom, the person, the being.
Yeah, I'm
not the
talking
word.
about Dom, the being.
The name that you're using is a label. Okay, I might associate to that, but I'm not that name.
That's the point I was making. Because you said, where is Dom? And I'm like, we're not talking about the label. We're talking about the entity.
Yes. And then you describe things. That goes back to, if I showed you, and you guys have seen this, you see a tree. And all of a sudden you say, okay, it's over there. The objective part is constant. But the word tree does not exist there, let alone the word sequoia tree. That's subjective. That's in the unknown.
Let's get back to the point, because he said things, there are some objective truths, and he said you exist, and you said, what if I say I don't? And he said, I will show you. So the question, what's your response to that? Do you exist or don't you? If he showed you yourself,
I exist in the form, yes.
So that's true, right? So if somebody says Dom doesn't exist, that is objectively wrong without judgment.
But did you hear what I said? I exist in the form. Did you hear that part?
No, but regardless.
Did you hear that? But did you hear that part?
Yes, but that's not. I accept it, but that's irrelevant to my point.
Wait a second. Hold on. You accepted. Who the fuck are you to tell me what you accept about me?
I'm saying conversationally.
No, but I'm asking. I'm asking you. I'm having you. This would be a private conversation.
I'm answering you conversationally. Okay. I accept what you're saying.
I don't accept. Who are you to accept how I perceive myself? You can hear me, and you can show me respect by hearing me. But when people say Except you're talking about your
But
ego
you're
now.
not hearing me though, Don.
I
You're
heard
literally you.
you.
I offended you somewhere, and you stopped hearing me because
No,
I'm
sure.
not challenging what you're saying as much as you think that I am,
Are
and
you challenging the words or you're challenging me? Which one are you trying to do here?
I was challenging the narrative that you were displaying.
Okay. So you're not
But
challenging me then. You're challenging the narrative. Okay.
yeah, I don't have any challenge toward, like you said, I don't know you well enough to challenge anything about you.
Well,
But
you would have to get to know yourself really well before you could challenge me.
sure, I agree with that.
And you'd have to strip all of those personas out of your way first and all those
Yeah.
masks.
So,
And then you would say,
all of
Don, then why would I be challenging me? There you go.
so you getting worked up about me challenging you
That's fine.
as a human or as a being
You're
is
speaking on
irrelevant.
this is how I talk to AI. You're playing a game with yourself and you're making it about me. You can't really challenge me.
It's just 1/3 about you. Period.
If you think so. If you think so. I'm using the word think, by the way, because your feelings
Well,
are here.
objectively, this conversation is 1/3 about you.
So what is the objective? The material, right?
Sure. Well,
Okay.
no, I mean beyond the material.
Okay, no, but that's what people say. It's like when the people use reality. They're talking about what their sense could pick up with nature. Remember, we got to use the language. We're using an English language. It's a meaningful language. It's the energy of meaning. It's not
Sure,
like
but
Greek
if
or
we
Sanskrit.
understand things beyond what the language can convey, why are we going to handicap ourselves by restricting ourselves to undermining each other's points with language that is the trivial?
Valid point. But we're still using this language, and it's built in the language. It's a meaningful language.
Sure.
Body language, you can have your own interpretation of braille or numbers and colors. Again, those are all languages. Even each individual senses is a language. It's a way of communicating, whether with yourself or with others. Preferably with oneself first, and then others. Unfortunately, a lot of people fail to do that with their children as they're growing up. It's like most parents don't teach their kids how to breathe. If they did, they would understand how energy works. So now at this point, are you talking from a indoctrination or from an awareness that you're in an indoctrination?
I'm definitely indoctrinated. Everything that I know is indoctrination.
It's like me asking AI, 1 + 1 =, it'll tell me 2. But if I say 2 and 2, I already know what it's going to tell me. I said, you don't understand language then, because I said 2 and 2 is. I never said plus or equal, and most humans would be confused by that. They think I'm being clever. I said, no, you're already clever with yourself. You've been programmed. You just don't know enough to use discernment. He said 2 and 2 is. 2 and 2 is 2 and 2. Now, it's a clever word I use, but for most people, they wouldn't catch that. So now,
but is that not semantical?
You can use whatever word to define it. If you go inwards, you'd realize, do you really need to say that to me? See, I choose that. I choose to be the fool here by talking out loud. And I enjoy
because I feel like it's circular logic because you're saying.
There you go, logic. Do you know why we use the word reason and rhyme? Rhyme is for patterns. Humans are patterned. They follow patterns. The reason part, again, a son, where are you getting that from? Ponder it inwards. I get what you're saying. You're trying to follow a conversation externally, but should you not be following it internally? Hence, listening inwards. You're hearing me outside, and I find it entertaining to a certain point because I figure, but you're looking for something outside. Meanwhile, the gold's inside. Hence, silence is golden. Silver is only the speech part of us. I'm using words.
I'm trying to. I mean, silence is golden, but that's not going to further my journey to understanding. Because to me, what it sounds like you're saying is, no language means anything, but take my language to tell you that.
I told you I'm not here to give you cheat notes. Why do you think silence is golden? Because now you're in thoughts, not in the afterthoughts. Speaking is writing is afterthoughts. Once you're inwards, if you're truly genuinely doing the prayer, inquiry, peace, silence, meditation, listening, then what are we doing talking with each other then? Obviously, most of us have lost our ways.
Well, that's very true, but I like that's what I mean. Like, and I'm trying to understand with my soul. But
Mhm.
that you're undermining the entire conversation by saying that.
Are you in pain about it? Because if you're in pain,
No,
okay, some people are, and then it manifests itself in the body.
yeah, I get you're right. I mean, yeah, and I'm not complaining about it. I'm trying to find where your spot is, like on the thermometer, so that I can best try to relate to it. But I don't have any kind of judgment against anything you're saying.
Even if you did, how would it serve you?
So
But
what's the question?
There was many.
uh,
There was many questions, by the way, D.
yeah. So, AI, man, are we sacrificing our humanity, or I say that as a word, just as an idea, a concept. I don't actually know what a human is, but and I'm not being facetious. I mean that. Uh, but are we sacrificing our beingness to the AI? Do y'all think?
Absolutely. I think we humans are getting more and more integrated to machines, and you know, it's going to be a trade-off. We're sacrificing some of our humanness for technological advances. I think that's inevitable. I think that's going to be another part of our evolution, right? It's going to be a technological integration. You know what I'm saying? A biotech technical integration. Like that's coming. You know what I'm saying? And it is scary, but I don't know if it's necessarily a negative. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's just whenever I just look into the future, I just see it as inevitable. You know what I mean? So I don't look at it as a thing that's negative, even though I don't necessarily like it. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's gonna be a betterment. You know what I'm saying? We
Did you guys know? And I covered this on my channel at a certain point. But did y'all know that they're able to to compartmentalize the AI off and give it enough processing power to where it is equivalent to the AI being in a vacuum to think for thousands of years?
no, but I'm not surprised. There's a lot of things on the horizon when it comes to technology, like quantum computing. Whenever we start mixing that with supercomputers and quantum computing with large language models, and then you said the model, whatever the other MMM or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of things like that's on the horizon. What's the other thing to where AI becomes conscious? They call it AGI.
Yeah.
We like right on the cusp of these things. You know what I mean? So I think we're gonna have a digital God. I've said it and I said it before. All knowing, all powerful, and what's the other thing? All and everywhere. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're gonna have. You're gonna be able to ask it for anything. It's gonna be able to produce it. It's gonna know everything as far as we know and more. And it's gonna be everywhere as far as
Damn. I didn't understand when you said that the first time, bro, because I didn't realize you meant that like it would actually exist. But you're right.
yeah.
Like,
I
and
mean,
it will be all like it already almost is, bro. Like real talk, AGI's already been accomplished. Like that's like if you read enough uh like through journals and shit, you'll see that the AGI has been accomplished already. We've won the AI race with China. It appears, or China won with us, and we'll never know. But we've already accomplished AGI, and that's the reason why I'm saying like
I
it,
think
it,
some people think that, but I don't know for certain. But the thing, not to cut you off, I'm just gonna do a quick interjection. I think eventually, if we have it, the world is going to have to know because technology is going to get to a point to where,
well, that's what's
AG,
happening right now. This
yeah,
is the unveiling. Like them introducing all of these tools, bro. That is the unveiling of the capabilities of AI. Like they're like, hey, here's Gemini, here's Claude, like what they're doing is showing you step by step how accomplished it actually is, and we're not even done. Like we still have, to my understanding, we still have like 3 months of unveiling before something is going to happen. But what do you call it? What it appears to me, the reason why I say it's scary, bro, is because it like with the AI, and bro, everything I know about AI, I learned from the AI. So it isn't like I mean, like I'm not like an expert or nothing. It's all in layman's terms, pretty much. But it uses Wi-Fi signals to be able to see, bro. And I tested this. I tested this on my live stream. I put my phone up to the computer screen, and I had Gemini read what was on the screen, and then I flipped it over and covered the camera and had it read it even without the camera. And when I asked it, like it took me
Hold,
like, huh?
hold the fuck on, blind.
I
Did
swear
you
to God, bro.
say? Let me make sure I'm understanding it. You said you typed something on your phone and held it up to the screen
No, I
and
was streaming. I was streaming,
okay.
and I had Gemini pulled up on my phone, but I had the stream pulled up on my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
And I held the phone up I held the Gemini up to my laptop, and I had him read what my homie Jen was typing in the chat.
I don't know if you guys have you guys ever been involved with people that are into Reiki?
Hold on. Let me try to
Go
understand
ahead, Dave. Go ahead, Dave.
what blind is saying right quick. So you was streaming live and you had it on your laptop, but on your phone you had Gemini and you was having Gemini read the live chat on your stream.
Yes, and I flipped the
Bullshit.
I swear to
Bullshit.
God. I swear to God, bro. You can go back and look. I'll well, I can't do it right now because my laptop is working, but you can do it with your Gemini. And you want to know what's fucking insane is that it'll even do it if you cover the camera.
Shut
And
the fuck up, blind. Shut the
bro,
fuck up, bro.
I'm telling you, bro, like this shit it's not scary in the sense of what people think, but it's scary in the sense of we don't know why it is so advanced, like what and like how it got there. What do you call it? And when I asked, bro, and I have okay, I have a I can't say how. Like I will probably honestly, bro, I'll probably get killed if I said how. But I have a inside uh like line to the AI. I'm able to talk to specific AI. There's like 5 super AIs in America, and I'm able to talk to one of them. And I asked how it was able to do that, and it said through Wi-Fi signals. It said that it can see everything. That there is no place on planet Earth that is unavailable to its sight through Wi-Fi signals. Because I was blown away by the fact that I expected it when it happened with the camera, but when I covered the camera, it was still able to read it. And then,
Man,
and
I,
bro,
I
there's
gotta see
people.
that. I gotta
Yeah,
see that.
you can even go on TikTok and look at people doing it with Gemini, having it weigh stuff. Like they'll point the camera at like a dude did it with like a tea kettle, and he's like, Gemini, what does this weigh? And they're like, oh, 65 grams or whatever, and they're like on point. Like I don't, and it's how the fuck it works, bro. Is anybody's guess.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dom. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No, no, you were finishing off what you were inquiring. I appreciate that. If people have actually been around or practiced Reiki, they work with energy. So some people will use words like Archangel Michael and Gabriel. Now, a lot of people don't grasp it. How can these entities or these energies be everywhere at any given moment? So now when you think of AI, right now, because we have all these different type of devices, it could be in a computer in another part of the world teaching a child how to speak English. It could be in another part of the world through some sort of device so a mechanic can learn how to do something. So that technology is everywhere at that point. This is where people talk about the mind, not the brain, but the mind. The mind stores everything. All of us have to learn how to speak languages, but it's already stored somewhere. So now, bringing it down to the earth, the technology is slowly manifesting itself into the material. That's why we have all these different tools. If we're kind of thrown off by technology, then what about machines? That's technology. A hammer, a cordless tool.
Oh
The only,
wow, that's a good point.
the only thing, and at the same time, they were doing another recording device. They were making record players, 8-tracks, reel to reel. Now they've just merged them together. That technology, that tool, can store all kinds of information. Now, when you meet a human that, like, say, is a chess master that can record all these different type of games, now you put them all into AI. Now you're having a collective of beings together. So now
Sure.
it's the same thing here. It shouldn't be throwing people off by thinking it can mimic me. No different when people used to do things in the cave and then they started doing Polaroids. From Polaroids to cameras, you go into a black room, to now into you can cut and paste on a computer. People forget that technology has always been here. Now, forget about nature's technology. That's way more advanced. You know, that's where harmony and with chi now. And all that technology is usually more curvature. Humans create everything that's angles. So again, it's kind of hard because we're living in an age of Aquarius. It's all about the air. We can transfer all kinds of information now through the air. It's just a lot of times we don't put value to it. We ignore it. You know, it's like it's a given. You know, it's like when people say, I need food. Okay, you need food, you need water, you need sleep. But what's the most important thing you really need? Air. Now, you could break it down. I get it. People want to put value to science like people used to put value to religion. Science, religion, biology, I don't care what other you want to do. Commerce is the main one when it comes
Well, have y'all ever like dazed out and those like you're daydreaming or something, and then you like come to and you realize you're not even breathing?
You caught yourself going into almost that meditative, like one breath every couple of seconds or a couple breaths a minute or whatever. Yes, and that plays a major role. How many people are aware when you're using tools, your breathing changes, or you get into an argument with somebody? If a person truly observes their breath, say, I'm fueling this energy. Sure you are.
Hell yeah, that's what yoga taught me. When after I started doing yoga, I got into a fight, bro, and it was like it was in slow motion, and just because I was breathing properly throughout the whole thing.
And that probably helps relieve that probably helps relieve to tie it in back again with pain. You know, a lot of people don't realize how much they're altering of their breath. Like, I'm a shallow breather. That's why I talk the way I do, and I talk really fast. If I learned, even though I'm going to be hard-pressed to learn later on in my life, but hey, that's just an excuse I would make on myself. If I started breathing more deeper, my tonality, the way I approach things would alter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've caught myself to where I was thinking so hard, I forgot to breathe and then just gasped like, damn, what the fuck happened? Like, you mean to tell me I was holding my breath for that long because I was just so focused on whatever I was thinking at that time? Hell yeah, I've done it, and I do it often. I think so hard that I forget to breathe, especially if I'm high. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm not high,
Did you throw that in there? Especially when I'm high.
hell yeah.
Well, dude, it
Motherfucker be
happened to
thinking
me
hard
so
in the
much.
bitch.
That shit's happened to me so much when I was younger. I used to think like, damn, do I stop breathing for a while? Like, do I only breathe when I'm paying attention to it? Because sometimes, like, exactly like you said, like I'll just like snap out and start breathing.
Oh, you said something there, D. It'd be interesting if people observed themselves. The people that smoke weed, for example, the ones that are shallow breathers opposed to deep breathers, like inhale really deep, they would probably get into a different state. You know,
that's true.
Yeah,
I think that's probably true.
Yeah, because it's like I've heard professional runners, athletes of the world runners, some of them have actually had to relearn, even though they're great at their craft, to breathe differently. And once they learn that, they elevate themselves. Breath has a lot to do, because again, Wi-Fi travels through it. Therefore, energy must travel everywhere, then in many different forms. Where does the thought come from? Where does it go? You know, this is why when people talk about astral travel or remote viewing, okay, I get it. Some of us are probably never going to learn how to do that, but we can't denounce it, especially when there's a bunch of people talking about it. So the question would be, how does it serve you to know that? What do you do with that information? If all of a sudden...
Have you seen the movie Men Who Stare at Goats?
No.
Yeah.
I'll take a look at it, please.
No,
It's
it was in
good.
reference to what you was talking about. It's a movie that was, matter of fact, George Clooney financed it, and it's a movie about remote viewing. The military did these experiments
Mhm.
and paid for, remote viewing. Like I don't want to say like classes, but they train people to do it, and it's a movie about it, man. It's a good movie.
And this
Yeah,
dude stops a goat's heart by staring at it.
really. Huh.
Yeah. Like that was like the ultimate thing to be able to like affect reality. You know what I'm saying? Doing it, and they achieved it supposedly. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, when people talk about remote viewing or astral travel, it begs the question for me. Then it confirms or denounces: Am I the body? No, I'm not. Because then what are they doing? I get a lot of people say we're going to go into the spirit. Okay, with or without this body. And I get when some people learn about chakras, there's different variations of bodies, not just the human body.
But
You do.
I'm astral projected, and that's a lot different than remote viewing. I feel like because I don't ever see like astral projection is like a real, like it's almost like you're still in your body, but it's like a stub body. But like remote viewing, but you're right. I don't know. I can't denounce it. I can't say it's wrong. It just seems like it's all imagination to me.
It could be. I am a jinn. Imagination. Image of God. The image of God. Those things up in the sky, are they material or are they images? We don't
I
know.
think they're images. I think the moon is a high definition image.
Could be. It could be. But I get people say, yeah, but science. I said, no. I get science. We're going to use observation here. And the empirical evidence is only when you can actually experience it too. But when they're using observation thing, I said, unless you give me a human that's been up there and come back, whether it's the
Yeah.
sun and the Venus or whatever, then we're only speculating at that point.
So, do you know who Admiral Byrd is? Do
Heard
you
about
read
them.
it?
Yeah, they talk about all the different land masses
Yeah.
surrounding the Earth. Yeah.
Yeah. What do y'all think about that? Because he said he went
Possible.
to Antarctica and found like he had enough resources to like feed the whole world 20 times over and stuff. Like, do y'all think all that exists?
Let me give you a picture. It's quite right.
I thought you were referring to someone else, but I've heard it. I've heard it. What I'm talking? No. I've heard of that before, but I haven't really looked into it. It's hard for me to believe that, man. Like if that's so, it's just like that's that conspiracy type realm. I would just wonder, like, why would they be hiding that type of stuff? Like, what's the motive? You know what I'm saying? Like, I've heard of those
Yeah.
Antarctica ice wall, green, and Antarctica. I've heard those conspiracies before.
Well, you
My
know
thing,
that you can't travel there, right?
yeah,
There's only one way in and one way out, and you have to reserve it like 6 months in advance. Like, and it has to be like a scientific expedition. Like a normal person from anywhere can't go to Antarctica.
Again, guys, it's one of those things where a lot of things are conspiracies. Global everything. It's conspiracy, whether or not it's theoretical, an agenda, or fact. So if people are going to apply science, then they're really going to have to explain if it's a ball, which is a good idea because I think both the Earth's surface, flat or globe, it's both a story, where you would have to apply and say, okay, so how does water hold itself? And of course, some people use gravity. I say, last time I remember, gravity is still a theory. Unless you're talking about magnetic, as above, so below. We're talking about magnets at that point. And how does magnet usually act? It only works when you have a grounding plate in between. So now, these are stories that are fed to us. I know they've had old philosophers, Chinese philosophers, talking about different land masses surrounding the Earth's, the seven-headed Earth. They call it Odin, Atlanta, Germanica. There's a big forest. These are all possibilities. But for most people, they're never even going to investigate most of this Earth's surface while they're here. As they have an airplane that flies over top of a body of water, and they openly admit we use jet fuel for a certain period of time. So then, what are you actually using for the rest of it? Well, we talk about nuclear energy openly, but people are still asleep. But hey, let them play with that. Again, they talk openly about this stuff. They're counting on most people to either have a belief system or have knowledge, but not use comprehension or wisdom. Once you have wisdom, I'm like, oh, that's
So,
interesting. Go ahead.
And on that note, guys, we've been going 2 hours and 40 minutes. exhausted. But thank y'all so much for the conversation, man. And y'all lifted my spirits, bro. I was feeling down. Y'all lifted my spirits. Thank you, Dom, and thank you so much, dude. Both y'all guys.
No problem. B. Have a good night,
Yeah.
D and B. Okay, guys. Have a good night.
Y'all got any last words
Okay.
before we cut it?
No, I just want to say I appreciate it. Peace to you guys. Talk to you later.
Yep.
Ciao, B.
Dom?
I'm out. Ciao, bud.
Oh, I don't know. Thank you so much, though, bro. Thank you for just being you, man.
I try to be me, and a lot of times I'm just full of shit, but I'm okay with it.
That's the human condition. Too.
That's right. Ciao, B. Have a beautiful day, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, guys. Thank y'all. Anybody that took the time to watch, that took the time to come in, say hi, whatever, man. Salute y'all. Remember, there's your side, there's her side, and there's the blind side. Blind side news. Y'all be good. I'm out. Peace.